888 statewide, nationwide. So if you're listening on the stream somewhere else in the world, you could give a little a trip check in that locale. The story about the girls that were being followed. For one thing, I'm glad that they were in pairs. Nothing gets me more like paranoid when you see, especially like they were 9 and 12. When you see kids that look 5 or 6, even they might even be older, but they just look really young, and they're walking around by themselves or riding their bike. It's nerve-wracking. And I was thinking about when we were growing up, we're not homes, wasn't like certain homes denoted as like safe havens for kids for, if for any reason you needed help, you could go. And I can't think of what the symbol was, but was it like a circle or something?
That was a safe, well, I don't know about you, but for us, it was a yellow sign that went in the house window, and it was just called Safe House, and it was a house. It was just an ink drawing of a house, and the sign was, I mean, you can't see this, but it's like, legal size, 11 by 8 or 12,
any idea,
something like
now
that.
That you're an adult, over 50.
Do they still do that?
No. How did you go about getting those? Did you have to?
Oh, you got them through the school. It was a program at the time. It was a program through the school, and if you wanted to be a safe house, and everybody took the paperwork home, and it's like, Mom, are we going to be a safe house? And they fill it out, and then you put the thing in your window. And no, my family didn't become a safe house for one simple reason.
It wasn't safe.
Oh. Well, two simple reasons. There were no kids in our neighborhood.
Oh.
I mean, the only safe house would have been our house, and it's the first place I would have run. So,
you didn't need the reminder.
I didn't need the reminder. I knew where to go.
Yeah, for some reason, I doubt they do that
way out in the country
in this day and age, because it just seems like people would kind of bend that around, and the bad people would be able to get their hands on.
Yeah, it would be one of those situations where I think that probably now you'd have to go through a background check and fingerprinting, and
but still, it's not like it's a fixed. I mean, basically, you get your sign and you put it in the window. But I don't recall seeing any of those. And you sit there and you go, this is such a crazy. I mean, the things that are happening and the things that are being reported. I mean, it really takes a lot to shock you, because of the stories that come out. You're like, wow, that should devastate me. But we've heard almost, equally as insane stories. I see, and we've got, schools in our neighborhoods and a lot of kids. And it's one of those things where if I see, if I was to see any stranger or any, situation like what happened, of course, you would stop and do something. But there was one time a little girl was on her bike, and she was riding her bike in a park, and I was just kind of driving by, and I thought, if I turn around and kind of like follow her to make sure that she gets to her location, just describing that sounds creepy. And if you sit there and you get out and you say, just so you know, I'm going to be about a half a block away, but I'm just going to be, that would, I know, undoubtedly set her off. And I think
probably everybody else around.
Yeah. But
so what you're saying is, even doing the right thing, you can't do the right thing.
Exactly.
It's rather nihilistic.
Is it?
It's not an. I don't think it's an incorrect observation at all.
I mean, there's nothing more innocent and sacred and awesome than the kids out there, and you just want. It's like, how are they getting such a raw deal? And if thank God somebody on the airplane with the 13-year-old was paying attention.
It goes back to my whole thing about trust. That society, when you think about it, for those of you who have not heard this theory of mine, society is based on trust. That's all it's based on. if you think about it, is trust. You trust that the person who rides your bus is not drunk. You trust that the person who's flying your airplane knows what the hell he's doing. You trust that when you go to the store and you buy the food there, that it's not contaminated, so then when you eat it, you either don't die or get dysentery, which sometimes can lead to the former. You trust that the folks that teach your kids are teaching them the right thing when you send them to school. I mean, it's all based on that. And essentially, we've gotten to the point where trust has eroded to a point where even doing, like Rob's talking about, even doing a good thing or the right thing or the conscientious thing or the humane or human thing is going to turn around and bite you because there is no trust. Trust is gone. We have violated our own trust. And I don't know, and I don't see how that ever turns around. I mean, I think now that we've gotten as far as we have down the rabbit hole.
We're in no man's land.
Yeah. I honestly, this is going to sound really, now to get into the nihilism part, hey, it's going to get worse. I don't see it getting any better. I really don't.
So much for the feel-good part of the start of the show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
On the upside, happy to see that Pat Casey is staying at Oregon State. I think
a lot of
if he was to leave, there would probably be about a $2 to $3 million renovation because having been to Goss for the first time last Wednesday, you walk around and there are these huge, posters and I mean like entire walls pretty much chronicling them winning the national championship. And who is front and center? Pat Casey. Yeah. Not that you would, have to get rid of him, but he has got his mark on that, as he should. I mean, responsible for 2 back-to-back national championships. Amazing. And I think, starting over down in Texas, even though, boy, talk about the spotlight. No pressure there.
No.
All right, stand by. It's 11:20 KPNW. We're talking to the poet, Lord Byron Henry. Or he might be a legal analyst. I forget. He's next.
If you're a hunter or sportsman or someone who wants a gun for personal protection, you need to visit your local family-owned gun shop, Oak Grove Guns in Eugene. Oak Grove Guns has shotguns and rifles of all types. Oak Grove specializes in custom fitting the right firearm to your needs and lifestyle. They stand behind the products they sell and are ready to make sure you are satisfied with your purchase. That's what customer service is all about. Oak Grove Guns, right off River Road behind Sherry's. Proud to supply products to responsible gun owners.
Whether you want to travel on-road, off-road, or off the grid, we've got you covered. When you want the best protection from everything Mother Nature can throw at you, we've got that covered too. If you want high-quality truck bed liners and accessories designed to endure the elements and last a lifetime, ask for Line-X spray-on protective coatings and travel on. Don't just protect it, Line-X it. Stop by Line-X today and see what's possible.
Every election year, you hear lots of promises and few guarantees. Lars Larson here to tell you about one guarantee you have right here in Eugene and Lane County. Jeremy Parmenter will sell your home. That's right, Jeremy guarantees to sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it. And Jeremy will sell your home fast. Darbin and Ruby wanted to sell their home and move out of the country. They didn't need the extra stress that comes with selling their home, so they called Jeremy Parmenter. He sold their home in less than 30 days, right on schedule, and got them $10,000 more than any house in that neighborhood. Why would you think of working with any other agent in Eugene or Lane County? And there's no risk. If you want out of the contract, you're out. Call the only agent I recommend in Eugene. Call Jeremy Parmenter at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. Online, OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com. That's OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com.
News, information, 24/7 on News Radio 1120 KPNW. KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good day to you and yours. This is Megan Shem with NBC 16. Here's a look at your weather. We expect the temperatures to stay nice and warm throughout the work week, all the way in the 70s, even reaching the 80s a little bit in Eugene, Springfield region. Towards Roseburg, staying in the upper 70s to 80s, definitely throughout the week. Temperatures looking nice and warm, and with that, we do have a pretty dry week without much rain. Only a potential of rain on Wednesday night into Thursday, just a little bit in Eugene. Same with Roseburg on Thursday night, potentially a slight 20% chance of rain towards the coast. Temperatures staying in the 60s, lows roughly in the 50s. Overall, looking to be a very nice work week. Stay with us on NBC 16 for your latest news and weather. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
This is your wake-up call.
Bring it down a couple of notches, because you're a little too happy.
Holloway and London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Just got off the phone with a guy because we were talking about the trust issue and kids, and emails coming in about it. One of them, we should give those kids credit for paying attention. Lots of kids might have missed this kind of activity. That's a good point. Another one sends this email about a girl that was, where is it, Virginia, in a Target store, an incident in a Target store. Anyway, that whole thing. And then, you know, that sort of led into, as we were talking to the gentleman on the phone, it occurred to me a conversation I had, I'm thinking 6-7 years ago, with a detective who investigated sexual assault cases. That was his job, which, if you think about it, that's got to be one of the most bleak jobs ever. But and what he said is that, you know, look at it this way, that when it comes to cases in particular of child abuse, that the abusers, sexual abuse of children, the pedophiles, are going to be where the kids are, whether that's a playground, working in some sort of youth activities thing, working at schools, because that's where they want to be, because that's where what they want happens to be located, which was kind of a scary thing. And then Rob brought up the point, you know, where people get bent out of shape because for even church youth activities or camps or anything like that, they want to do a background check. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of get where a person might think, well, really, me? But yeah, I totally get it. I totally understand that. And anytime, particularly when it's dealing with kids, when they start saying, you know, well, we need you to have a background check, hands up, I'm in total agreement on that one. All right, joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning, he's been on the show a couple of times before, legal analyst Byron Henry, joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. Byron, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, so the Supreme Court expected to announce a number of rulings here in the next couple of days. The biggest one, what? Probably going to be the abortion case from Texas?
That one will probably get the most coverage. I think the immigration decision dealing with the president's authority to deal with the immigration issue and circumventing Congress and that constitutional issue is probably a bigger legal case or a bigger constitutional case than simply regulation of abortion. But one of those two cases, if not both of them, are two blockbusters that are left to come out this term, as well as the other case from Texas, and that is an affirmative action case. All
right, well, let's talk about the immigration case, because that has to do with a couple of things. Besides just immigration, it also has to do with the president's authority to use executive orders, right?
That's true. That case really is broken down as it's progressed into basically two parts. One is the president's authority to prioritize deportations. In layman's terms, that's basically decide who and when to deport people that are here illegally. And the other issue, which I think is the more difficult issue and probably the one that the Obama administration is the most at risk of losing, and that is the president's authority to simply change the status of unlawful immigrants or aliens to lawful immigrants with the stroke of a pen, which basically would give them government benefits such as the right to a driver's license, work papers, and other benefits. And that's the issue, I think, that really has got the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's most likely, if anything, to find that is the president overstepped his authority by taking that action.
Okay, but by taking that action, he did it through executive order, right?
That's correct. He did it unilaterally without a law being passed which changes the status. And there's a law in the books which makes those individuals here, their presence unlawful, which basically disqualifies them, not only subjects them to deportation and criminal charges, but disqualifies them from certain government benefits. They're not entitled to driver's licenses and other benefits, including work papers. President Obama's executive action or executive order basically changed that and basically allowed them to get those benefits and those papers and driver's licenses. In the state of Texas, along with dozens of other states, filed suit saying, first of all, that's going to cost us a lot of money, and second of all, you don't have the authority to do it.
Right. Well, the bigger issue, I think, here is that the Supreme Court, of course, deals specifically with the legal instances, and a lot of times the events surrounding it and who is involved are really secondary to the legal issue. So, burrowing down into that legal issue, my understanding of executive orders are that essentially they are only made to clarify, if you will, laws that have already been passed and implement them, is my understanding of how executive orders are supposed to work. So in other words...
That's correct. Usually they are directions to the agencies that are under the president's control, like the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of State, the Department of Justice, the EEOC, all the agencies that are in the president's purview that he appoints. He gives executive orders directing them on how to carry out the laws that exist. That's correct.
Right, and it doesn't give him the power to just unilaterally create laws, which in many cases, or at least in some cases, that he has done with executive order. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and more importantly, not just create law where one doesn't exist, but change the law where one does exist, and that's the real crux of the immigration case.
All right. Talk a little bit about the affirmative action case.
The affirmative action case is just a basic case that the University of Texas uses race as a factor in its discretionary admissions. The Supreme Court had this case once before. They sent it back to the lower court saying you used the wrong standard. You need to be a little bit stricter with the university. The lower court once again found in favor of the university, found no problem with its use of race as a factor in admissions, and the Supreme Court took the case again, presumably to tell the lower court and the University of Texas that they are allowing race to play either too large a factor, possibly even that it shouldn't play a factor at all, though without Justice Scalia on the court, I suspect that the court is not prepared to just strike down affirmative action across the country in this case because it's shorthanded. But certainly the conservatives have the advantage because even though Justice Scalia is gone, Justice Kagan is recused from that case. So there's only 7 justices on that case.
Okay, and I'm just out of curiosity, how do you think the immigration case is going to roll out? I mean, considering, again, you have, a situation of a split court.
My speculation is that Chief Justice Roberts is writing the opinion. It is going to be a narrow opinion which leaves the executive's authority intact with respect to deportation, but determines that President Obama does not have the power to change the status of individuals here unlawfully without action by Congress.
So how can you leave it intact and say that he doesn't have the power to do it?
Or leave his discretion intact to not to how and when to deport people. That's something that's prosecutorial discretion, and I don't think the court is going to disturb the president's discretion as to how and when to deport people. But what they will say is you can't transform their status from unlawful to lawful without action by Congress, and that would be a huge blow to President Obama's immigration plan because it all hinged on not just refusing to deport these individuals, but allowing them to, quote, come out of the shadows and become productive citizens and work and get driver's licenses, and they won't be able to do that if the court rules the way I'm predicting.
All right. Byron, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning.
My pleasure.
All right. Byron Henry. He is a legal analyst, also a attorney. Has been in front of the Supreme Court himself, and he joins us on the Wake Up Call. So 650 News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
With the greatest real estate market we've seen in a decade, you probably think you can hire an agent and get a good price for your home. Well, if you want a great price and a great experience, hire Harpole Homes with Keller Williams Realty.
Fact. Not all agents are created equal. When you sell your house with Eric and Jeanette's team, you get thousands more dollars in your pocket. On average, you will net $9,500 more for your home than hiring a part-time recreational realtor. What can you do with $9,500? Take a vacation, pay off debt, or have a larger down payment for your next home.
You might ask, how do the Harpoles do it? Well, negotiating, marketing, and their exclusive certified pre-owned home program. When you hire Harpole Homes to sell your house, they pay for your house inspection prior to it going on the market. It's just one of the 182 steps they follow to get your house sold for top dollar.
For your free information package or to schedule a free consultation, call them now, 541-286-3030, 541-286-3030, or online at harpolehomes.com.
A Budweiser, America, and Florida-Georgia line.
I still remember our first big show. Budweiser's in the air, and hearing the crowd sing our song.
That's when it really feels like America is in our hands.
And when I'm holding an ice cold Budweiser that says America on the front.
That too. Cheers.
This Bud's for you.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Bill London, and when I go shopping for ammo, Gunrunner Arms in Junction City's my first choice because of their selection and their prices. 223s are 37 cents a round all summer, and they regularly have 22 long rifle ammo. Gunrunners also has plenty of firearms like Colt, Ruger, Henry, Springfield, and Smith & Wesson. To protect the firearms that protect you, get a U.S.-made Liberty safe at Gunrunner Arms. From small biometric safes to large collection safes, Gunrunners has them. Gunrunner Arms, the fastest-growing gun shop in the valley at the intersection of Highway 99 and 36 in Junction City.
Today's forecast for the inside of your vehicle, sponsored by WeatherTech. A 90% chance of nacho cheese storms this afternoon, moving in from a drive-through worker answering a phone while serving you, leading to a real messy day. For the weekend, conditions are perfect for a sandstorm developing, caused by a day at the beach, with flip-flops and towels contributing there. For folks living with an SUV, watch out for a big mess in the back developing later from a bag of mulch and compost. Conditions are ripe.
Spills, mud, dirt, and sand can ruin the floor of your car, truck, or SUV. The best way to protect your vehicle's floor is with WeatherTech floor liners and cargo liners. Made of the highest quality materials and laser measured, WeatherTech floor liners are specifically designed for your vehicle. And they're made in America. Protect yourself from the elements inside your vehicle. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech. Complete protection, completely American made.
Wayne County, Oregon, and the nation. Hear it here every day on the Wake Up Call. Holloway in London and News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. The official unemployment rate fell in May from 5% to 4.7%, even though only 38,000 jobs were created. The government, speaking through President Obama, proclaims a vigorous self-sustaining economic recovery. Don't see it? Neither does the Fed, which declined to raise interest rates again at the June meeting. In blunt terms, one reason is that the reported unemployment number is an outright lie. An alternate reading of the data suggests that the real unemployment rate is 23%. This calculated by John Williams of Shadow Government Statistics. So has Williams tortured the data, or did the government? You be the judge. Williams calculates unemployment the way it was done before the Kennedy administration started to fudge the numbers, by not counting out-of-work Americans who had stopped looking for a job because they couldn't find one. These folks were relabeled discouraged workers and dropped from the ranks of the unemployed. In 1994, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who counts these particular beings, redefined the workforce to exclude all discouraged workers who'd been seeking employment for more than a year. And some 4 million poor souls dropped into a black hole. Here's the nugget. It actually gets a lot worse because the BLS is creating fake jobs out of thin air with something called the birth-death model. Details next time. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good day to you and yours. This is Megan Shim with NBC 16. Here's a look at your weather. The first day of summer brought in the sunny skies, and they're expected to stick around all the way into the work week. Temperatures staying in the upper 70s, reaching all the way up into the 80s near Roseburg. Eugene, Springfield, same sort of story with 70s all the way into the 80s towards the weekend. About a 20% chance of rain on Wednesday overnight. Thursday, only a 30% chance of rain. Not that much. Staying relatively cloud-free, and temperatures staying nice and warm for a majority of our region. Along the coast, temperatures dipping into the 50s at night, but still a nice, cool day for the coast and nice and warm inland. Stay with us on NBC 16 for your latest news and weather. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are inching higher in early trading as investors turn toward monetary policy and oil declines. The Dow is up 15 points at 17,820. The S&P 500 is ahead 3 points, or about 0.1% at 2086. And the Nasdaq is up 12 at 4848. Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen begins 2 days of monetary policy testimony before Congress at 10 a.m. in Washington today. Crude oil is down about 2% at $48.35 a barrel. Meanwhile, despite recent optimism that Britons will opt to stay in the EU, the referendum remains too close to call, according to polls. Among shares moving on corporate news is Lennar, up 2%. The home builder reported an increase in quarterly earnings, and KB Home also went higher. United Continental is up 4%. The carrier says it plans to target around $3 billion in savings and extra revenue by 2018. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Last week, Paula Reed, CBS News producer Virginia, went to a local firearms dealer to purchase an AR-15 rifle. I know the Orlando shooter used a Sig Sauer MCX, not an AR-15, but that doesn't matter. Paula's agenda was to confirm the liberal belief that it's too easy to buy a weapon. Now, CBS reported the transaction at Spec Drive Tactical took 38 minutes. And CBS reported that after the purchase, the weapon was transferred to a federally licensed firearm dealer. Now, on the news segment, UCLA law professor Adam Winkler claimed that in most of the country, you can go into a gun store, buy an AR-15, just like you go into Starbucks and buy a cup of coffee. Well, let me tell you, if Starbucks took 38 minutes to serve coffee, they would be out of business. But here is what's important. Spec Drive Tactical has filed an accusation with the ATF against the CBS producer. You see, at the time of the purchase, she was asked if she was buying the weapon for herself. She said yes, it was for her own personal training. If she had said the weapon would be transferred to a third party, it would not have been sold to her, because a straw purchase is a felony. Giving false information on the ATF form, as this reporter did, is punishable by up to 10 years in jail and a $250,000 fine. So now we get a chance to see if the Obama regime is serious about enforcing gun laws already on the books when the perp happens to be a Democrat disguised as a journalist. If you are really good at what you do, and if your experience is worth sharing, make an investment in your future. There is a huge need for quality corporate trainers. Help others become the very best they can be while building your own income. Join the John Maxwell team. The John Maxwell team has been certifying corporate trainers, executive coaches, and speakers for more than 40 years. The cost for becoming a certified John Maxwell corporate trainer is basically the same as a few credits at an online university. It's a small price to pay for a life-changing program. Once you become a certified John Maxwell team member, you are part of the team for life. Become a John Maxwell certified corporate trainer, executive coach, and speaker. Visit johnmaxwellradio.com now for a special free gift. That's John Maxwell Radio.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. He got dumped. but he's not bitter.
I have unbelievable respect for Mr. Trump, and he's going to be the next president of the United States. I'm going to be there to support him.
Corey Lewandowski, the morning after being removed as campaign manager, Trump is making changes as the presumptive Republican nominee faces off against Hillary Clinton, who has a big money advantage. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
While Donald Trump took in over $3 million in campaign donations in May, Hillary Clinton raised more than $26 million. But Trump told Fox News this morning that he's ramping up his fundraising.
You know, this weekend we had a very big fundraising weekend. It's not revealed yet, but we raised a lot of money. I made many stops in Las Vegas and, all over Texas and Arizona.
Those fundraisers raised $12 million for the Republican Party. The Federal Election Commission reports that the Trump campaign has only $1.3 million in cash compared to $42.5 million for Hillary Clinton. That's the worst financial disadvantage of any major party candidate in recent history. Dave?
Now, John Clinton will make a speech later this morning focused on the economy. Tomorrow, she'll meet with House Democrats. A new CNN poll gives Clinton a 5-point lead over Trump nationally. A Quinnipiac poll has her up by 8 in Florida, but the two candidates are virtually tied in key swing states, Ohio and Pennsylvania. Olympic leaders say they support an International Federation ban on Russian track and field athletes in the 2016 Summer Games in Rio over doping. But they've also left open the door for some to maybe be able to compete under special circumstance. Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach says in the battle against cheaters, they need to sanction
all those implicated in doping cases, be it coaches, be it officials, be it doctors.
Iraq's prime minister may have declared victory in the battle to take a city back from ISIS, but days later, the U.S.-led coalition now says Iraqi forces have only cleared Islamic militants from a third of Fallujah, where thousands of civilians have been trapped. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
If you currently use a CPAP system, I've got an important question for you. Are you sure you're keeping your CPAP system clean enough? Like, really sure? A dirty CPAP system is a perfect breeding ground for germs. Put that mask on, and they've got a direct line to your body. Talk about a fast way to get sick. Fortunately, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs in minutes. To introduce it to the world, they want you to try it risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-422-1474. SoClean eliminates the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto! Your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. Supplies are limited, so don't wait. Call 1-800-422-1474. 1-800-422-1474.
Stocks are going up a little today. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalini's live on Wall Street.
Holding on to slight gains, Dave. We're up about 9 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 17,814. The Nasdaq Composite up 5, the S&P 500 up 1. It's a push and pull because you have energy and healthcare materials all to the downside, while technology and financials are showing some up arrows, such as Microsoft and Apple, that are leading the way on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We're seeing this push and pull action, and of course, a lot of focus on Britain and whether or not they will choose to exit from the Eurozone. CarMax under pressure, weak quarter. Lennar a winner after a better than expected quarter. More home sales. Back to you.
Thank you, Nicole. The price of oil has been falling today, down nearly $1, under 49 bucks a barrel, as gas drops a little too. AAA's national average for regulars under $2.33 a gallon. Now that the U.S. is restoring long frozen Cold War relations with Cuba, a Cuban-grown product will be sold here in the U.S.
We are not yet going to see cigars or rum imported from Cuba to the United States, but soon you will see Cuban-grown coffee on the shelves of U.S. supermarkets. Swiss coffee makers Nespresso say they will be importing the product to the U.S., and it will be for sale starting in the fall. The company says it will not be a limited engagement, and they are ramping up operations in order to make this product part of their permanent offering to U.S. consumers. It will be labeled as Cafecito de Cuba. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
A Massachusetts woman faces up to 5 years in prison for fraud, accused of pretending to be a student to get $47,000 in loans while working at Suffolk University in Boston, where as an employee she didn't have to pay tuition. Prosecutors say Ashley Ciampa used the money for vacations and other expenses. She did enroll in Suffolk's MBA program but did not attend a class, had access to a school computer to give herself an A. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
7:05 News Radio 1120 KPNW. Sunshine. We're going to just ignore the mystery fog. If you got fog, go play the lottery. You're one of the few. High of 78 degrees. Cloudy tonight, otherwise clear. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 79 degrees. Right now it is 51 at News Radio 1120 KPNW. By the way, if you watched any of the NBA Finals, you know that Taco Bell had a promotion in which if another team won away, in other words, on the other team's home court, you would get to steal. In other words, they would be giving away tacos there at Taco Bell. So if you want a free taco from 2 to 6, and they got locations, all over Eugene and Springfield, my advice to you is maybe pony up a little bit more. Burrito Amigos, great tacos. Also found a place, I don't know the name of it, but it's a food cart there at the Saw place where they work on like lawnmowers between 6th and 7th on Blair. They have tacos for $1.50. I say pony up $1.50 or $2. You're probably going to stand in line anyway for the free tacos from 2 to 6 today, but so worth it. Speaking of Burrito Amigos, of course, they'll be sponsoring the newscast. It's coming up, and Bill's got these stories.
Yeah, we'll have these stories coming up in just a couple of minutes. Well, a Eugene City councilor says, marijuana, we should tax that. We should keep the money because we have things we want to do. We'll have that story coming up. We'll take a look at quite a bit of maneuvering on Capitol Hill dealing with gun control yesterday. We'll kind of lay it out for you and give you an idea of what may be coming up today in regards to that. And also, firefighters going to firefighting school. They're getting ready for wildfire season here in Oregon. It's coming up as part of the news, that and more, 7:07 right now at News Radio 1120 KPNW. Some people avoid gluten because they have to. Others avoid it because they want to. At Burrito Amigos, they say, either way, they can help deglutify your menu. For instance, they have taco salad. The best part is you can build it yourself with beans, your favorite meat, lettuce, tomatoes, cilantro, cheese, tasty guacamole, and sour cream on a bed of, yes, gluten-free corn tortilla chips. Keep in mind, Burrito Amigos large taco salad should have wheels and a 6-cylinder engine with a granny gear because it's so big. Now, if you're catering something for work, a school, or club, just order the taco salad and you don't have to worry about figuring out a gluten-free menu or even ask if anyone requires a gluten-free meal. One thing that should also be mentioned, Burrito Amigos taco salads taste great. If you're going meat-free, Burrito Amigos has a vegetarian menu that's more extensive than most sit-down restaurants. From tofu burritos to the bueno no-cheese burrito, Burrito Amigos adds more to their menu for people who need to leave things out of theirs. Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones in Eugene and Springfield.
Make sure you check out SM Gun Shop before you buy at a big box store. SM Gun Shop takes trades and they have a large selection of quality used firearms with competitive pricing. SM Gun Shop on River Road in Eugene, serving Lane County's gun enthusiasts since 1980.
Tired of long wait times and high prices at your local boat repair shop? The Boat Dock LLC Marine Repair in Springfield has the fastest turnover. With state-of-the-art test equipment and on-site test tank, the jobs are done right the first time. From simple tune-ups and water pumps to complete repowers on all types of marine powerboats, the Boat Dock LLC is the shop to visit at 1252 30th Street in Springfield, a Better Business Bureau accredited business. Visit their website at eugeneboatrepair.com. That's eugeneboatrepair.com.
Over 300,000 veterans have received the care and benefits they've earned because Paralyzed Veterans of America was there. If you need help with a claim or just navigating the system, contact us at pva.org.
Now, this morning's wake-up call with the latest news from the Northwest and your neighborhood. On News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Eyeing a chance at more money for pet projects, Eugene City Councilor Claire Syred wants to create a city tax on marijuana. The councilor asked for a work session for today so they can discuss her proposal to put a measure on this fall's ballot. The session is also expected to cover other potential regulations for pot retailers choosing to do business in town. town. Municipalities are allowed under Oregon's pot laws to impose a 3% tax on recreational retail marijuana if voters decide in favor of it. Lane County commissioners are also expected to look at the possibility of letting voters decide on a marijuana tax in unincorporated areas of the county. Eugene police are investigating a report of two girls, ages 9 and 12. They were being followed by an unknown man from the nearby El Camino del Rio Elementary School playground. It happened June 19th around 5 p.m.
They were walking from the playground there to a pond, and they noticed that a man was following them. And when the girls became afraid, they did call one of the girls' fathers, and he came and confronted the man. The man provided an address, and later it was found that that address did not exist, and they hadn't seen him in the area before.
Melinda McLaughlin with the Eugene Police Department says this is the second reported incident recently in the same geographical area. The suspect, described as a white male, 45 to 55, between 6'2 and 6'6", weighing between 165 to 200 pounds. He has long, orange-blonde, straight hair and wearing wire-rimmed reading glasses, a black and red jacket, and green jogging pants. Police are continuing to investigate the case. They say if you have any information, contact them. The first transportation plan developed just for the city of Eugene is just about finished. The 2035 Eugene Transportation System Plan is a blueprint dealing with how the city should spend its transportation fund over the next 20 years. And it's a project the city's been working on for nearly 5 years. Not surprisingly, the plan will attempt to force people to walk or bicycle as opposed to use automobiles. Tonight, the Eugene and the Lane County Planning Commissions are going to be holding a public hearing on the plan. Starts at 6 p.m. at Harris Hall. Democrats in the U.S. Senate wanted to strengthen gun control regulations following the shooting at the nightclub in Orlando. So did Republicans. Well, guess what? At least as of yesterday, it's not going to happen.
Democrats wanted votes to expand background checks and prevent terrorist suspects from being able to buy guns. Republicans added two competing measures. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden says he's frustrated.
The far right responded to cries for common sense gun safety laws with still more inaction.
Senator Jeff Merkley called it incomprehensible that senators voted to please the gun lobby over keeping weapons out of the hands of terrorists. Senator Wyden says it's not what Americans want.
Congress owes it to the families of victims, to responsible gun owners, and all Americans to heed the voices who are saying enough is enough.
Republicans argued that Orlando had more to do with terrorism than guns. Brad Ford, KPNW.
And the Republicans themselves also had some measures. Yesterday's voting all came down along party lines, the Democrats supporting their bills, the Republicans supporting theirs, and neither crossing over. The Senate rejected a Republican proposal to update the background check system for gun purchases that would have required states to add more information on mental health records to a national database. It also included a provision to alert law enforcement agencies when an individual who was on a government terror watch list in the past 5 years who tries to buy a gun. The proposal, sponsored by Iowa GOP Senator Chuck Grassley, failed to get the 60 votes for passage. The vote was 53-47, all along party lines. Another Republican proposal to delay gun sales to individuals on a government terror watch list failed, again in a party line vote, 53-47. The bill would also have allowed a judge to permanently block a purchase if the court determined probable cause for that individual being involved in terrorist activity. A compromise bill is expected to hit the floor today. Another recall, this time on frozen vegetables and the disease or the contaminant, listeria. The recall from the National Frozen Foods Corporation involves frozen green peas and mixed vegetables sold under the names Bountiful Harvest, First Street, Great Value, Live Smart, Market Pantry, and Sprouts Farmers Market brands. The FDA said sample testing showed the products may be contaminated with listeria. The vegetables were distributed to stores nationwide between September 2nd of 2015 and July 2nd of this year. For a full list and the product codes, you can go to fda.gov. Participants are being sought for a study at Oregon State University with hopes to answer a long overdue question. Does the use of multivitamin supplements really improve the nutritional status and ultimately the health of elderly adults? Hard as it is to believe, almost no research has been done that measures what improvements, if any, in nutritional status occur when people take a multivitamin or mineral supplement. Even less is known about the effects in the elderly, a time of life when substantial evidence shows that vitamin and mineral demands are higher and more difficult to meet. So, OSU is looking for men ages 40 to 70 or older to be tested to measure their response to the use of a multivitamin or a lack of one. They're choosing men because even more than women, their diet as older adults is known to be deficient in vitamins A, C, D, E, and K, as well as calcium, magnesium, and potassium. With temperatures hitting triple digits in the southwestern states and wildfire season starting in the Pacific Northwest, Brad Ford says firefighters are starting school here in Oregon.
The interagency school is getting firefighters ready to battle blazes in Oregon's forests and rural areas. Stephanie Gatchell with the U.S. Forest Service says the week-long training is essential for wildland firefighters to know how to work in uneven terrain.
And to really get a sense of what it's going to be like, because safety is the most important aspect of this training.
They'll also be working in smoke and closely with crew members to dig fire lines. Gatchell says there's a variety of levels from no experience to leadership training. If they ace all the exams by Friday, they'll be available Saturday for any wildland fires. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Eugene officials say they do not expect a citywide ban on fireworks this year. The mild, wet weather has reduced the fire risk. Police Chief Pete Kearns and Interim Chief Joe Zaludik wrote in a memo to the City Council that no outright fireworks ban is proposed this year unless there's a change in the weather. Zaludik says the city could change its stance if things heat up and rapidly dry out. Last year, if you recall, the Eugene City Council banned the use of legal fireworks in South Eugene over the 4th of July holiday weekend. The council cited extreme heat and fire threats. So an Albany woman got into trouble Sunday when she stole a tractor and a wagon at a farm on Peoria Road, and then crashed said tractor and wagon, blocking Peoria Road. The 911 call came in about 4:15 Sunday afternoon. When police arrived at the scene, they found 45-year-old Leslie Ann Dumdy. Dumdy told police she was being chased by motorcycles and was trying to get to the FBI in Portland on a tractor with a trailer. The damage to the tractor and the trailer is about $32,000. She was booked in the Lynn County Jail. An airline passenger accused of groping a 13-year-old girl on a flight from Dallas to Portland is going to remain in jail for now. At a Portland hearing, Magistrate Judge John Gelderks agreed with prosecutors to keep Chad Camp behind bars. He's going to be granted temporary release for drug and alcohol evaluation. Camp pleaded not guilty after his arrest last week on a federal charge of abusive sexual conduct. The judge noted that the 26-year-old Portland man has a history of substance abuse and warned him that there's a big difference between, quote, being a drunk and being a drunk who abuses youngsters. Authorities say a flight attendant saw Camp grope the unaccompanied minor shortly after takeoff on the American Airlines flight. A witness said Camp had 4 mixed drinks at an airport bar. Well, you may see more people on Oregon highways this summer. Brad Ford says Oregon tops a list of the best road trip destinations.
Gas prices are up, but they're still more than 50 cents a gallon lower than this time last year. A Wallet Hub study finds Oregon tops the list of states for the best road trips. That's based on fun, scenic, and wallet-friendly things to do. It finds Oregon has the best rating for driving laws. Oregon ranked 3rd for scenic byways, 5th for nightlife options, and 9th for the number of attractions in the state. Oregon also ranks in the top 15 for having the lowest prices for camping. Brad Ford, KPNW.
And finally, a rare, risky mission is underway to rescue 2 sick scientists from the South Pole. 2 small bush planes that left late last week from Canada for their mission arrived in Antarctica yesterday. They're on their way to evacuate sick workers at the South Pole's Amundsen Scott Research Station. This is only the 3rd time an evacuation has been attempted in the South Pole in the middle of the Antarctic winter. Well, the 2 aircrafts landed at the British research station Rotheria on Adelaide Island yesterday afternoon. As soon as the weather allows, 1 plane will try to make the dangerous 10-hour journey to the pole while the other plane stays behind in case anything goes wrong. And there's a lot that can go wrong. Fuel could freeze, as well as the grease in the plane's hinges and gears. And winter storms can flare up suddenly, and if anything goes wrong, pilots may need to land on unknown terrain in complete darkness. That's because the South Pole is in total darkness during its 6-month winter, which is now. Temperatures can sink below minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the only light comes from the moon and stars. About 50 people are assigned to spend the Antarctic winter on the Amundsen Scott Station, which is run by the National Science Foundation. Details about the South Pole workers' medical conditions not being released. They say it's about patients' privacy. It's 7:20. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
So now we know exactly why Jasmine Todd left the Oregon track and field team. She was academically ineligible. She had an arrangement set up with the professor to turn in work later for an online course. Because of her hectic athletic schedule, she received a B in the class, but found out later, 8 weeks later, the university had not accepted the arrangement. Thus, she was considered academically ineligible. She competed in the Pac-12s, but not in the NCAA championships. Not the end of a career that she was anticipating. If either Oregon State or Oregon were involved in the Oregon or the College Baseball World Series, we'd still be talking about it a little bit more, perhaps. There is a West Coast team still involved from Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara beat Miami 5-3 to remain in the mix. They're in Omaha. Go Gauchos. Arizona lost to Oklahoma State 1-0. It's confirmed Texas did offer Pat Casey the gig, but he decided to stay at Oregon State as the head coach of the baseball team. Legendary Longhorn coach Augie Garrido stepped down in May, and they're trying to fill with a big name. It just won't be Casey. He'll be in Corvallis for his 23rd season, where he'll make about $825,000. No doubtedly would have been a pay raise in Austin. Let's start with the good news with the football team. The Ducks have a good quarterback on the horizon, 4-star, 6'4" Colson Yankoff out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He'll be a part of the 2018 cycle. Oregon sophomore wide receiver Kirk Merritt is transferring to another school. He's headed home. Destrehan, Louisiana is his home, and the change is due to family reasons. The Eugene M's won their third game on the road. They took out or washed down the Hops 6-0 despite striking out 15 times. The Hops, 4 errors in the field. Didn't help. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW brought to you by Max Muscle. Don't get sold, get educated by a certified nutritionist. I'm Franklin across from Market of Choice. News time, 7:22.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good day to you and yours. This is Megan Shem with NBC 16. Here's a look at your weather. We expect the temperatures to stay nice and warm throughout the work week, all the way in the 70s, even reaching the 80s a little bit in Eugene, Springfield region. Towards Roseburg, staying in the upper 70s to 80s, definitely throughout the week. Temperatures looking nice and warm, and with that, we do have a pretty dry week without much rain, only a potential of rain on Wednesday night into Thursday, just a little bit in Eugene. Same with Roseburg on Thursday night, potentially a slight 20% chance of rain towards the coast. Temperatures staying in the 60s, lows roughly in the 50s. Overall, looking to be a very nice work week. Stay with us on NBC 16 for your latest news and weather. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960. A good friend and one-time golfing partner, Bob Creech, passed away recently at the wonderful age of 95. And I remember vividly the first time I played golf with Bob, and as he prepared to putt the ball, he stopped, looked up at the rest of us, and said, "Boy, it's good to be on this side of the grass." And Bob's comment has stayed with me for the past 20 years as a reminder that when we think we have it tough, just consider the alternative. On this side of the grass, we still have time and the ability to make our lives more positive and fulfilling. And you can work on that task today. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, Have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by Builders Electric, voted the Register Guard's 2015 Reader's Choice #1 electrical contractor, providing positive service for over 55 years. That's Builders Electric, CCB 4296.
Warmer weather is coming. You may be ready, but is your vehicle? Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair can perform a complete inspection of your cooling and air conditioning system to ensure you and your vehicle stay cool when it gets hot out. Offering bumper-to-bumper service and repair on trucks, RVs, autos, and trailers, including general maintenance, in-frame overhauls, welding, fabricating, liftgate, and reefer repair. Call Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair now to beat the heat.
Is your multivitamin really working? If it's pill form, probably not. Max Muscle has a liquid multivitamin called VitaCell, providing 100% or more of your daily value of vitamins and minerals. And it tastes great. Buy one, get one free this month. Stop by, give it a try. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard.
Each franchise independently owned and operated. Offer good on selected product at participating franchises only. Some restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
You're going to love this house. It just came on the market, and it's gorgeous inside. Here we are.
Oh my gosh, look at this room. The window coverings are stunning. It's straight out of a magazine.
Isn't it incredible? The best part? They didn't even hire a decorator. Budget Blinds did it all.
Budget blinds?
Yep, Budget Blinds. They'll give you a free in-home consultation, do all the measuring and installation, and give you the best warranty in the industry.
I'll take it.
The house?
No, the number for Budget Blinds.
Right now, it's the biggest sale of the year at Budget Blinds. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive incredible savings, promotions, and upgrades, including free invisible tilt on shutters. There's never been a better time to get the decor of your dreams. But hurry, the biggest sale of the year ends soon. Call your locally owned Budget Blinds, 1-800-370-2545. That's 1-800-370-2545. 1-800-370-2545.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Sunny and 54 degrees, News Radio 1120 KPNW. Roadways looking decent for a Tuesday. The song is called Ice Cream from Sarah McLachlan. Could be a theme song for another Umpqua Ice Cream Social that we could be bringing out ice cream to you.
We will be bringing it out potentially to your workplace, but you have to let us know where you work first. And you have to let us know that you actually want us to bring you some delicious Umpqua Dairy ice cream.
Strawberry cheesecake
is the
flavor of the month.
Right. And so we always bring that, the flavor of the month, and some chocolate and some vanilla. So everybody's kind of covered there with it.
You bring whipped cream?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We bring whipped cream. We bring cones. We bring bowls, spoons.
Mixed nuts?
We even bring napkins.
What about nuts?
No.
Probably.
Well, because of the allergy concern.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even think of nuts that day.
Yeah.
Okay. So if people have already had a nomination brought forth, are they still in to win, or do they need to send another one?
if you've already sent us your little email that says, hey, Bill, do us a favor, bring us ice cream. If you've already done that, you don't need to send us another one because we've got you in our little file here. But if you haven't yet, all you have to do is email us at 1120kpnw@gmail.com and just let us know where you work, what your name is, and a phone number where we can get a hold of you. Now, this is for up to 15 people, okay? So if you've got like 50 people in an office, we don't have enough to go around. But up to 15 people, the stuff for up to 15, and we're going to deliver it before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, generally, 1. It seems to have worked out for most folks about 1:30. So anyway, get us the information. Again, make sure that you have a contact phone number where we can get a hold of you, and just email us at 1120kpnw, 1120kpnw@gmail.com. Also, on the subject line, you can either put Umpqua or ice cream or Umpqua Dairy ice cream or something that says ice cream, all right, that denotes we want ice cream.
All right, so one of these times, since we have 15 listeners and we can serve 15 people ice cream. I say we have all of our 15 come down and we do it in the conference room down here at the radio station, and we just have like a powwow.
I don't know. Do people want to eat ice cream at this time of the morning?
No, it doesn't have to be during the morning.
Okay,
it can still be after lunch.
Yeah,
but that way.
And you have to have your little "I'm one of the 15" card.
I'll throw this out there. Okay, so if you're a fun bunch, ice cream just going to make it more fun. If you're not so fun and you guys are, maybe antisocial, nothing breaks the ice like whipped cream in a canister.
Oh yeah, when you spraying it in each other's mouths. Yeah.
That's good times.
Agreed.
That's good times.
That rocks.
Okay, so umpqua strawberry cheesecake, and of course vanilla and chocolate. You get the whole, and there's no cost to you. And Bill will even hang out afterwards and clean it all up for you. So there's no no mess.
If you desire.
He'll even serve it and wear a soda jerk hat.
We don't have the soda jerk hat. Do not oversell this. We do not have the soda jerk hat.
What about an apron?
I don't know if we have one. I've never worn one. I'm just not to say I haven't worn one. I just haven't worn one doing this.
And I'll say this. You need to...
You are right, though. A soda jerk shirt and the white...
And a little maybe bow tie.
Right. Hi, would you like nuts with that?
And leave the tip jar at home. And I think that's kind of weird.
You make it any way that you can.
Okay. All right. So how do they get in again?
1120kpnw@gmail.com. Email us. Your name, the place where you work, your phone number where we can get a hold of you. All right.
So does that mean... okay, so we have the umpqua
ice cream. Put the umpqua dairy ice cream.
Is that
subject line? Or
does that mean
ice cream or something?
That night we have a Thirsty Thursday?
No, actually, Thirsty Thursday is going to be on Thursday as opposed to Wednesday. Tomorrow is the ice cream.
Ice cream
Thursday.
social.
Right, and tomorrow is our Thirsty Thursday, which is going to be at the First National Tap House on Broadway. I have never been there. Have you ever been to the Tap House?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it like...
They have some fun music there at times.
I've heard that it's totally awesome. Do you concur with that it is totally awesome?
No, I don't like it at all.
Really?
No, of course I do.
Okay, well, I just
it's awesome. Have you not been there?
No.
You can't miss it.
No, I've never been there. So I'm fully admitting I've never been there, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, we're going to be out there from 4 to 7 this coming Thursday. James Taylor tickets, Weird Al tickets, Counting Crow tickets, tickets to the Eugene M's. We even have Olympic trial merchandise.
What?
And some Budweiser Widmer merchandise. Generally, that includes some really cool beer signs. I am not sure on this yet. I will check. Well, I'm going to check on it. I think we may even be giving away some Olympic trials tickets, which would be a massive deal.
You kind of brushed over the beer signs. What he's talking about is the neon beer sign. It's not something that you put in a window. It's like something that lights up.
Yeah, I mean, we do have given away the metallic beer signs, the ones that are just like metal beer signs, which are cool in and of themselves.
They don't light up.
But they don't light up, yeah. My favorite still is the Super Bowl 50 neon beer sign, which was really cool. And I can't remember if this was last time or the time before, we gave away one of those old school Budweiser signs with the red and white logo and the circular kind of thing. It was a classic old school Budweiser beer sign. I saw that.
What do you have to do to get that?
All you have to do is just, when you walk in, we give you like these raffle tickets. That's all we do, and that's all you have to do.
Raffle ticket? You didn't have to. Wow.
No. And just draw the raffle ticket out, and somebody won it. That was of the beer signs, that one's probably my favorite.
Tap House, right next to Red Wagon Creamery.
Oh.
So might have to go say hi. Oh. All right, 7:34, busy week with the radio station, News Radio 1120 KPNW. Don't forget, if you have questions about anything, even our golf tournament, kpnw.com will get you set up. 7:34.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. The Dow up just 4 points, the Nasdaq up 2.5, and the S&P up a fraction as the Fed chief begins 2 days of Capitol Hill testimony. Janet Yellen says the Fed will assess whether the U.S. economy is on a path to improvement. Wall Street's gains are very slim after yesterday's rally on increased optimism that voters in Britain will not decide to leave the EU. America's favorite fast food restaurant is Chick-fil-A. It ranks at the top of the American Customer Satisfaction Index. The chicken chain got 87 out of 100 in the survey, beating Papa John's by 5 points. As it battles back from food safety problems, Chipotle's score fell 6% to 78. And IKEA in Massachusetts could be the first in the U.S. with union workers. A vote is scheduled this month. IKEA says it's fully committed to working with the union if logistics workers vote to join the United Food and Commercial Workers Union. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Spring into camping at the RV Corral. New Winnebago trailers from $16,995. New Hideout trailers from $14,995. And the new Cougars from only $21,995. Check out Lane County's best selection of Winnebago Class A's and C's. Allegro by Tiffin, the Sunseeker lineup. And now RV Corral is the new dealer for Fleetwood Motorhomes. New or used toy hauler, trailer, fifth wheel, diesel or gas. Think award-winning RV Corral. Highway 99 or RVCorral.com. Why go anywhere else?
Every election year, you hear lots of promises and few guarantees. Lars Larson here to tell you about one guarantee you have right here in Eugene and Lane County. Jeremy Parmenter will sell your home. That's right, Jeremy guarantees to sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it. And Jeremy will sell your home fast. Darbin and Ruby wanted to sell their home and move out of the country. They didn't need the extra stress that comes with selling their home, so they called Jeremy Parmenter. He sold their home in less than 30 days, right on schedule, and got them $10,000 more than any house in that neighborhood. Why would you think of working with any other agent in Eugene or Lane County? And there's no risk. If you want out of the contract, you're out. Call the only agent I recommend in Eugene. Call Jeremy Parmenter at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. Online, OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com. That's OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com.
Today's forecast for the inside of your vehicle, sponsored by WeatherTech. A 90% chance of nacho cheese storms this afternoon, moving in from a drive-through worker answering a phone while serving you, leading to a real messy day. For the weekend, conditions are perfect for a sandstorm developing, caused by a day at the beach, with flip-flops and towels contributing there. For folks living with an SUV, watch out for a big mess in the back developing later from a bag of mulch and compost. Conditions are ripe.
Spills, mud, dirt, and sand can ruin the floor of your car, truck, or SUV. The best way to protect your vehicle's floor is with WeatherTech floor liners and cargo liners. Made of the highest quality materials and laser measured, WeatherTech floor liners are specifically designed for your vehicle. And they're made in America. Protect yourself from the elements inside your vehicle. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech. Complete protection, completely American made.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good day to you and yours. This is Megan Shem with NBC 16. Here's a look at your weather. The first day of summer brought in the sunny skies, and they're expected to stick around all the way into the work week. Temperatures staying in the upper 70s, reaching all the way up into the 80s near Roseburg. In Eugene, Springfield, same sort of story with 70s all the way into the 80s towards the weekend. About a 20% chance of rain on Wednesday overnight. Thursday, only a 30% chance of rain. Not that much. Staying relatively cloud-free, and temperatures staying nice and warm for a majority of our region. Along the coast, temperatures dipping into the 50s at night, but still a nice, cool day for the coast and nice and warm inland. Stay with us on NBC 16 for your latest news and weather. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Holloway in London.
Yeah, I get a little frustrated when I'm dealing with incompetence.
And the Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120, KPNW.
739 News Radio 1120 KPNW. The Eugene Mission rocked by a fire last week. It gutted their kitchen and some other, we're talking about $300,000 to $500,000 worth of damage. And then, a couple of days later, they got this major event, and thankfully,
a few people showed up. We have, of course, the executive director, Jack Tripp, and Caitlin Vargas. What's your title?
Development director.
Okay, that's right. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'll be transparent, and you would come in, Caitlin, a couple of times and talked about going to other festivals.
Yes.
And you were saying 3,000 to 5,000 people.
Yes.
And I almost said, "Hey, look, it's a first-time event. Don't get too lofty because 500 to 1,000 people is a great first-time event." How many people, Jack, do we think attended on Saturday?
We think about 15,000. We basically shut down Delta Highway and filled the parking lots
of Valley River Center.
It was unbelievable.
Now, here's if you weren't there, the other side, the riverside of CrossFit, that was our imprint as far as maybe a couple of acres, and then the rest, that little lane where the traffic comes through and the bus comes through, south of that was all parking. And it curled all the way around. I saw people walking after the event to their cars over by JCPenney.
Oh, easy. Yeah, it was truly amazing. And I think, I got pretty choked up by the end of the event because of the fact it was such an outpouring from this community of love towards the Eugene Mission. And, I'll just say, actually, let's see, if you see a skinny, ugly guy with the Eugene Mission thing around his neck come up to you and hug you, it's going to be me, because this entire community has been involved in helping us to recover from this fire, and it has just been unbelievable, the outpouring. Everyone should just feel so good about this community because of what they've done for us. So I'm here to say thank yous, and we need more help.
So, of course, to thank you to the folks, the food carts that came out, because they were kind of the star. Eugene Mission, of course, was the marquee, and then under that was the food cart stars. I talked to a woman the next day. I had the shirt on, the roadie shirt, that on Sunday downtown. A woman came up and stopped me and said, "What a great event!" Yeah. I said, "Oh, you went?" I said, "How many food carts were you able to?" "Oh, we got there early. We hit the rain, and we got 3." And then we took off. And I said, "So you didn't even see what it was to become?"
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, it was packed." I said, "No, it was packed." Yeah. It was. It was almost. It was unbelievable. But yeah, you're right. The show of support, the community hug that was given that day, was something to see.
Yeah, and what I'll say is, it just also, again, proved to us we're probably on the right track with this wellness thing, where we are truly trying to help folks permanently get out of homelessness. And what I've said to the community, and I say to everyone this morning, is I know this sounds naive, but we could actually end homelessness in Eugene if we all come together and work towards developing more housing, low-income housing, and more mental health help. And we're going to do that at the Mission. And this gave us sort of the backbone to continue doing so. And, so I again, just want to say thank you so much to the community. We're going to do this again. Caitlin's already started planning and improving, right, Caitlin?
Yep. Literally Monday morning, 8 a.m., I was like, 2017 Eugene Food Truck Fest. Let's start planning.
Yeah, and we realized there was so much patience at this one regarding lines and traffic, etc. We'll improve that next year, and we'll have more food carts next year than we've had. So
yeah, I would imagine that probably the food carts that just said, yeah, no, we're not interested in doing that. No, I'm assuming that probably they may have had a change of heart, maybe even potentially said, so are you going to be doing this again next year?
That's the hope. That's definitely the hope.
Is it too early to come and communicate with you if they want to be a part of it?
No, I would love anyone who wants to be part of it next year. Please contact me. Let's start planning this now.
So we think 15,000 people showed up.
Yep.
I say that number and I'm still like, what?
Our clickers stopped working at 7,000, and we had 2 at each entrance, so we know at 14,000 they actually stopped counting.
Yeah, it kind of, and this dates me, it almost reminded me of like a Woodstock moment. I kept getting on stage with you and others to take one of those selfie pictures with the crowd in the background. I felt like Jimi Hendrix was going to come out, and play next. So.
Did he?
That would
because that would have been really amazing.
Yeah, that would have been resurrection. Yes.
Yeah,
so.
that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, bottom line,
work on that for next
year.
year,
Yeah,
Caitlin.
taking notes.
This is the important question. How much money did we raise with Eugene Truck Fest 2016?
Yeah, so it was $45,000, which is awesome. And we plan to do even far more next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was including the truck's contribution.
Yep.
Wow.
We had many people come down, not even to come eat, but just to donate to us, which was really incredible. And we've had that all week long. It's just folks have been streaming in with donations and support. So it's just been so humbling.
And you've got a firm talking to you from the chief of police, what I hear.
Yeah, in a good way. He's good friends of the Eugene Mission, and we were just laughing about that. But he was one of the first people down, by the way, when we had a fire, because he's so concerned about us. And I think that was amazing that Chief Kearns came down literally that morning to make sure everything was okay.
I mean, talk about first responders.
Yep.
The Eugene Springfield Police Fire Department, not only instrumental in saving as much as they could at the fire, but then came back a couple days later and had a pretty sizable donation.
They had a huge donation for us, and I saw them in action, and we often see them in action because we do have a lot of medical issues with our guests at the mission, and they respond so quickly. I found just the amazing countenance they had as they were dealing with this fire. They brought calm and peace and really helped our staff to keep in a calm and peaceful and actually joyful moment as we've decided to be joyful as we rebuild. So I can't thank the first responders enough, the fire department. They were just awesome.
Okay, so what do you need right now?
So what's happening now is we're transitioning from this sort of makeshift canteen to a mobile food truck, and that will be our kitchen for the next probably 3.5 months.
Where did you get the truck?
So we got that through our restoration company that we're working with right now, and our insurance company helped us find this. It was in Portland. So this is a 53-foot truck that basically is used for incidents like this. So so we're plumbing it. We need to find the adequate propane tanks that fit this facility. And we're also clearing out the back of our warehouse to put a kitchen in place. And we hope that in 2 days, this will be fully hooked up. And we'll just basically be moving the kitchen into the back of our warehouse and this mobile kitchen. So
of course, monetary donations would be huge, but as far as particulars to help that
so what we need,
somebody from a propane company to come out and go, yeah, we have those tanks.
Exactly. Yep, and we do. We need your help to actually take a look and say, okay, we have tanks of this particular measurement to fit. We also need catered meals right now because we're still obviously struggling to put together meals for our folks. So,
and folks, for how many? We should remind people.
And I should say it's 750 meals a day. Wow. So this isn't some small effort. This is huge. So I'm kind of reading off a few: bulk lasagna, pizzas, casseroles, canned meats, hamburger patties, hot dogs, frozen hash browns, bacon, sausage, cottage cheese, biscuits in a can, frozen biscuits, ramen noodles, canned soups, butter, cooking oil. Those are some of the biggies. We also need bottled water and commercial dining tables we're looking at as well, because we have to set up for 400 folks at a time, so we don't have enough tables because they were literally melted in the fire.
What about things like utensils? And I'm thinking like plastic, sporks, paper plates, that kind of thing. Do you still have a need for that kind of stuff?
Huge, because we don't have dishwashing capabilities except we're rigging some stuff up. If someone donated thousands of paper plates and utensils, thank you for bringing it up, and plastic utensils, it still wouldn't be enough. So please, we're desperately in need of that, as well as trash cans and trash bags, large drinking dispensers we need. So
large drinking dispensers.
Yeah, because what we're trying to do is we'll put like Kool-Aid type product into these containers, the cool containers. So any of those big insulated containers we need as well.
And
okay, like the humongous thermos jugs, like they have Gatorade in that you always see at football games.
Exactly.
Okay, so
and you can get those at a Bi-Mart or Walmart or wherever. So
and I promise we won't dump them on Jack's head afterwards in a celebratory manner.
Good.
Right.
We'd hate to see the Gatorade go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. What a waste.
You might have seen, too, as you go over the overpass, you see it as you look eastward. But to get there, to drop off or to make a donation, the best way to do it is to take Blair. You go past Ninkasi Central there and keep going. It looks like you're going to be in the middle of nowhere, but then you're going to take a left on First.
Yes.
First time I ever tried to find it, I made a couple of loops.
Yeah, I think MapQuest still has First Avenue going underneath Chambers, and it doesn't. So.
Right. Yeah. So, and then, do you still have people out taking things outside? In the parking
even
lot?
more so. So if you drive down the street, whether it's a monetary donation or food donation or any of those supplies we just talked about, you'll actually see a tent now right on the street with some of our Life Change folks who are helping us out tremendously taking those donations.
So I'm curious, as far as the insurance goes, how much is insurance going to cover, and how much deductible do you have that you're going to have to pony up with?
Yeah, great question, and we're working through the specific amounts right now, but I will say this, and this is the easiest example. This kitchen was built years ago for 100, 250 meals a day, and we're serving 750. Plus, it isn't up to, all the latest codes. We've had to sort of jerry-rig to do that. So we had some laminated counters. Well, that you can't have today. You need stainless steel counters. So those cost far more than the old laminate counters do. So we're thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 150,000, even up to 200. We'll find out and let you know. That won't be covered by our base insurance.
Wow.
So that's what we're working through right now, and we'll figure it out as we go. But again, our kitchen was fairly inadequate as it was, so we're trying to build the kitchen that actually will work for the future. And we see ourselves, this is the minimum amount we'll be serving. We believe that it may expand and even grow as we reach out more to the community. So,
what about donations of things like that? Like, for instance, stainless steel countertops, that kind of... I mean, as you're saying that, I'm in my head, I'm going, okay, I know exactly what he's referring to, kitchen-wise, of all the stainless steel stuff that you need. What about other things, too, like, for instance, pots and pans, large industrial size, that kind of stuff? I mean, I'm assuming you need that too. Right?
Absolutely, all of those, and all of those are part of the upgrade and well, actually what we had in the past that we'll have to replace because everything is gone. Yeah, so if folks are interested in, people are starting to come to us and tell us that they have some equipment that they would like to donate. So please, if there are any organizations that would like to donate large, stoves, etc., we'll definitely talk to them and figure out how to take that donation. Obviously,
we've kind of touched on it. I think with the fire, and you've got that 24 to 36 hour news cycle that people are talking about it.
Yep.
Then we had the event on Saturday. Talk to people as far as the need in another week or another 2 weeks. I mean, we're not out. We had a big celebration on Saturday and it was amazing, but it's not over. I mean, we're not done. We still need to really get people talking and keep people presence of mind thinking about the Eugene mission.
Absolutely, and again, this is going to be a 3.5 month trudging through this, because again, even though we have this mobile kitchen, it isn't a kitchen. So we'll continuously need all those items that I talked about, and especially catered meals really help us. So if an organization, for instance, yesterday, Mucho Gusto, being funded by First Baptist Church, served our lunch yesterday. That took a huge burden off our basically two-person kitchen staff, plus the Life Change folks that are working with them, took a huge burden off. So if an organization or a restaurant in town would like to do a dinner for, say 400 people, which is the average that we serve at one meal, again, 750 a day, then that would be phenomenal. Plus all those other items we'll always continuously need, the hamburgers, the hot dogs, the meals.
Kind of like what happens after you have a baby and you have your friends kind of, I'll take Tuesday, I'll take Wednesday. You can kind of
that is
up.
phenomenal. That's exactly right. So I also think it's kind of freaky to think about, we had the food truck fest. We will now be cooking out
of a food truck. I was thinking about that earlier.
There's some irony in that somewhere. So
we got an interesting email from one of the 15. He says, reach out to Costco and Costco customers to provide Costco gift cards to the mission to buy Costco prepared foods, disposable utensils, those plastic tables. Just a suggestion. That's a really good suggestion.
Awesome suggestion. Yeah, great one.
And we had somebody earlier talk about talking with 4J, because apparently they're doing some construction revolving around kitchens at schools around, so they might have some extra as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If they have tables or any of those things we talked about, pots, pans, etc., we'd love them.
And we'll do this, too, because maybe you don't have the wherewithal, the resources. Hey, we're in that boat, we understand, but you might know somebody who's either very generous or does have those resources. So kind of pass the word on and post it on your Facebook. Make sure that you get it in front of them, because that could be equally as huge as if you were doing something as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Caitlin, what did we miss? Anything?
Yeah.
No, I mean, speaking of food trucks, Friday, Vinny's Smoking Barbecue actually came down and fed everyone for free. They said, I'm not going to be at my normal spot today. I'm going to come down and feed everyone. And so
nice.
It's just been pretty phenomenal just seeing the partnerships that have really even formed through the event. And a lot of food trucks have helped out as well. So it's just been really full circle with this event. And I've been really blown away at just the outpouring of support.
Yeah.
Well, as you need stuff, let us know.
Okay.
What we can do to kind of help get the word out is, because as I imagine, as you get down the line here, the needs are going to change. You're going to have different focus on certain things, whether it be, like you said, the stainless steel stuff for the kitchen, or today the type of propane tanks that you need for the food truck. All those things, we can always put the word out.
Great.
The 15 are usually pretty
responsive.
Pretty good about coming up with ideas and stuff.
Well, and one thing I want to say too are actually two things. Number one is how great our guests have been. It's been interesting as the day after the fire, I came back and, I was there through the evening. And I gave just a little presentation of what was happening and just asked everyone to pull together. They actually stood up and cheered. And there has been not one complaint. In fact, they have bent over backwards to help the mission and dig in and help us. So I just want to say that this is all part of wellness, and what we're seeing at the mission is miracles happening with folks. So I just wanted to put that out, that our guests are just doing an awesome job of helping us to help them. And number two is, I will say this, I'll ask for your prayers as well. Prayers are important, or just meditation, or whatever you do. Just think good thoughts about the mission, and just keep us in your hearts in a loving and kind way.
What happened last week was horrific, but if you can take a little bit of bright, the community exposure and the top of the conversations that were out there that involved the Eugene mission. It was a terrible thing that good things have sprouted out.
Good things always happen out of bad, and we see it that way. And the last sort of interesting thing is that many people have come down the mission expecting to see a staff that's forlorn or sad or whatever. They walked in, and from the moment, the 3:30 in the morning I was there until today, you are going to see a joyful, cheerful staff with great discernment and wisdom about figuring this out. And you will always see joy and love in our hearts, because that's what we're all about. So it really doesn't matter to us what the adversity is. We're going to rise to that challenge, and we're going to be better. We're going to rise from these ashes and be better than we were before.
EugeneMission.org. Jack, Caitlin, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. We love you guys.
All right. Hour number 3 coming up. Stand by. It's News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Neely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-500-4309. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-500-4309. Call 1-800-500-4309. 1-800-500-4309.
News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. There's been concern about drones in the sky. The FAA recently said there are an average of 3 near collisions with aircraft every day, but the way may have been cleared for even more drones, allowing commercial use. Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
The decision by the FAA comes after years of struggling to write rules that would both protect the public and also take advantage of the benefits of a new technology. Transportation Secretary Anthony Fox says only commercial drones weighing less than 55 pounds are covered under the new rules.
Unmanned aircraft can operate in sparsely occupied areas without the need to coordinate with air traffic control.
Once the rules go into effect, drone operators will then be able to fly their drones without special permission. Currently, they have to apply for a waiver from rules that govern manned aircraft. Dave?
John Donald Trump says he's been hammered for 3 weeks in the media, so he's pleased new polls show the presidential race is close.
Which tells you how bad she is, or hopefully how good I am.
A new CNN poll has Hillary Clinton leading by 5 points nationally. A Quinnipiac poll has her ahead in Florida by 8, but the Democrat and Republican tied in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Trump's way behind financially. The Federal Election Commission reports his campaign has just over $1 million cash, while hers has more than $42 million. Trump tells Fox he would like more Republican Party help.
I can go a different route. I can just spend my own money, have a lot of cash, and I can do like I did with the other, just spend money on myself and go happily along, and I think I win that way.
In about a half hour, Clinton will make what her campaign says is a major speech on the economy. Tomorrow she'll meet with House Democrats. Firefighters on the ground keep battling 2 wildfires that could merge outside Los Angeles. They dropped water from the air overnight. Hundreds have evacuated in Duarte.
It was the smoke that did it. My eyes were watering. I was having trouble breathing, and I thought, I better leave.
Residents forced to flee the flames of a wildfire in central New Mexico could go home today. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
An unhealthy spine often starts with bad habits. Poor movement patterns and posture can damage the spine or throw it out of alignment. Over time, these bad habits can injure lumbar discs or cause them to wear out prematurely. The physicians at Neurospine Institute are experts in diagnosing painful back problems. They'll work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure the best care and treatment for your unique situation. Our team of neurosurgeons, pain management specialists, and physical therapists will evaluate your back problem and develop a treatment plan and help you get your life back.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
Some Russian track athletes may get to go for the gold after all. Possibly. Fox's Simon Owen has an Olympic update live from our European Union Bureau.
Dave, Olympic President Thomas Bach offering a glimmer of hope to Russian athletes. The Russian track and field team currently banned from the upcoming games in Rio for systemic doping. But Bach says Russians may be allowed to compete so long as they pass extra drug tests. Bach saying after a series of scandals,
they put very serious doubts on the presumption of innocence for athletes.
Meanwhile, in Moscow, the Russian parliament arguing that the blanket ban amounts to collective punishment, likening it to the Spanish Inquisition. Dave?
Simon, no nuke activists will hail this news out of California. The state's last nuclear power plant, Diablo Canyon, will close by 2025 under an agreement reached today, ending 3 decades of debates about that plant and safety and concerns it's near seismic faults and prone to an earthquake disaster. The court battle continues over whether Led Zeppelin ripped off this song when they wrote Stairway to Heaven.
Throw the case out. That's what Led Zeppelin's lawyers asking a judge to do. The estate of Randy California sued, saying Stairway copied the 1968 Spirit song Taurus, but attorney Peter Anderson saying the estate of Randy Wolf, founder of the band Spirit, failing to prove ownership of the copyright to Taurus or that it's substantially similar to Stairway, which is why Led Zeppelin's lawyers contend the case against them hasn't been proven in court. The judge expected to hear arguments on the motion when the trial resumes this morning. Jacqueline Carl, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 45 points. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
By the way, it's not as though Led Zeppelin hasn't already been sued and lost a number of suits for copyright infringement, for plagiarizing other people's songs. The first one, the top of the mind one that comes to mind is Boogie with Stu. But this band, what they didn't say in the newscast, and I've been familiar with this case for a long time, is that the band that they're talking about, Spear, that supposedly originally wrote the song Taurus, they used to open for Led Zeppelin. And they played that song opening for Zeppelin concerts before Zeppelin ever recorded Stairway to Heaven. And like I said, Led Zeppelin has been taken to court on numerous occasions over copyright infringements.
Okay, beautiful day, 56 degrees, and sunshine is streaming on the way to a high of about 78 degrees. Right now, 126 over in Springfield at milepost 6.09. Can we just say 6? We get a crash on 126. So looks like there's delays in place right now. Kind of the lone snafu in the Eugene-Springfield area. If you should see other, not just congestion, because we know that we're going to get that going into the 8 o'clock hour. If you see something that's going to hinder commute, let us know. Right now, 126 at milepost 6.09. And see if we can discern which direction. Kind of hard to do that, but if you should come across that, let us know, and we'll pass that on.
By the way, it didn't get mentioned on the air, and I found out after we got off the air talking to Jack and Caitlin that the day after the fire, or the day, I guess it happened early in the morning. So that afternoon, Burrito Amigos sent over 250 burritos for lunch. Larry over at Burrito Amigos heard about it and called him up, and she told me, she goes, by the way, Burrito Amigos, you do stuff with them? Because they delivered like 250 burritos to us. Actually, she goes, actually, we went over and picked them up, but they made 250 burritos and just gave them to us. She goes, it was awesome. So thanks to our buddies at Burrito Amigos for stepping up.
Not a shocker.
No, not
a shocker.
No, not at all. I mean, totally not a shocker.
One of the pillars in the community by far, and we're just happy to be affiliated with them. Hey, let me throw this out there because I would love for you to be a part, especially if you've never done it, the 7th annual Mattress Mania Team Challenge. We got a golf tournament. It's a twosome, $99. Check out what you get. All right, 2 people, you and your partner. You're a team. 18 holes of golf with the cart. You got the lunch. A ton of giveaways as far as raffle prizes. We got a lot of trophies to give out. There's the hole-in-one hole sponsored by Dietering Orchards, $10,000. The Oak Grove $1 million shot. At the $5,000 putt sponsored by the Cuthbert. There is a ton of stuff. You could be walking away, kicking off the weekend because it's on a Friday. To kind of parlay that into a 3-day weekend. Maybe have a coworker or a business partner, maybe a love interest. It doesn't matter. Get them out there Have a great day at the Springfield Golf Club happening Friday, July 15th, and you can be walking up with some cool stuff or cash. KPNW.com if you want to sign up. It is the 7th annual Mattress Mania Team Challenge. A good time. I always like to talk to people afterwards. What do you think? What do you think of the, instead of the foursome, you got the twosome? People love it. It's a great way to spend a Friday morning coming up July 15th. 8:09 News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Somebody coined the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If that's true, why do people eat such weird stuff for breakfast? Fried dough, rolled in sugar, mystery meat on an English muffin, stale bread dipped in egg and fried? If breakfast is important, treat it that way with a breakfast from Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You get real food real fast, and it's real good. It's no mystery, I'm the bacon guy and love their bacon burritos with 2 types of bacon, I'll remind you. But Burrito Amigos can set you up with link sausage, huevos rancheros, chorizo, meatless burritos, or my new almost favorite, the machaca burrito with black Angus steak, sauteed onions, and green peppers mixed in with potatoes. Delicious. That's a Bill London endorsement, by the way. And mornings were also made for coffee. So stop by the kiosk on 6th in Eugene or 42nd in Springfield and enjoy an espresso along with your meal. Breakfast shouldn't just be important, it should be good. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
the one means no matter what the problem.
From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric. So their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
Get set to save now at Mid-Valley Tractor, your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care needs with a new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now during the Get Set to Save sales event, get a special introductory price of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% financing for 36 months. Now through June 30, 2016. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about cost and terms. Great prices, great products from people you can trust. Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99.
This is News Radio 1120 KPNW. And we've got the local story in the morning wake-up call.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Well, eyeing a chance at more money for pet projects, Eugene City Councilor Claire Syrett wants to create a city tax on marijuana. The councilor asked for a work session for today so they can discuss her proposal to put a measure on this fall's ballot. The session is also expected to cover other potential regulations for pot retailers choosing to do biz in Eugene. Municipalities are allowed under Oregon's pot laws to impose a 3% tax on recreational retail pot if voters decide in favor of it. Lane County commissioners are also expected to look at the possibility of letting voters decide on a marijuana tax in unincorporated areas. Eugene police are investigating a report of 2 girls, ages 9 and 12. They were being followed by an unknown man from the nearby El Camino del Rio Elementary School playground June 19th at around 5 p.m.
They were walking from the playground there to a pond, and they noticed that a man was following them. And when the girls became afraid, they did call one of the girls' fathers, and he came and confronted the man. The man provided an address, and later it was found that that address did not exist, and they hadn't seen him in the area before.
Melinda McLaughlin with the Eugene Police Department says this is the second reported incident recently in this geographical area. The suspect, described as a white male, age 45 to 55, between 6'2 and 6'6", weighing 165 to 200 pounds, with long orange blonde straight hair and wearing wire-rimmed reading glasses, a black and red jacket, and green jogging pants. Police are continuing to investigate the case. If anyone has information, they're asked to contact the Eugene Police Department. The first transportation plan developed just for the city of Eugene is about finished. The 2035 Eugene Transportation System Plan is a blueprint for how the city wants to spend its transportation funds over the next 20 years. And it's also a social engineering experiment. It's a project that the city has been working on for nearly 5 years, and not surprisingly, the plan will attempt to force more people to walk or bicycle as opposed to use automobiles. Tonight, the Eugene and the Lane County Planning Commissions will hold a joint public hearing on the plan. Starts at 6 o'clock in Harris Hall. Democrats in the U.S. Senate said they wanted to take action to strengthen gun control regulations following the shooting death at a nightclub in Orlando. Well, they had their chance yesterday. They didn't get it done. Brad Ford reports.
Democrats wanted votes to expand background checks and prevent terrorist suspects from being able to buy guns. Republicans added 2 competing measures. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden says he's frustrated.
The far right responded to cries for common sense gun safety laws with still more inaction.
Senator Jeff Merkley called it incomprehensible that senators voted to please the gun lobby over keeping weapons out of the hands of terrorists. Senator Wyden says it's not what Americans want.
Congress owes it to the families of victims, to responsible gun owners, and all Americans to heed the voices who are saying enough is enough.
Republicans argued that Orlando had more to do with terrorism than guns. Brad Ford, KPNW.
But there was more to it than that. You see, it was actually bipartisan votes both ways. The Senate rejected a Republican proposal, which was actually first on the docket, that would have updated the background check system for gun purchases, and it would have required states to add more information on mental health records to a national debate. The same bill also had a provision alerting law enforcement agencies when an individual who was on a government terrorist watch list in the last 5 years tried to buy a gun. Now, that proposal was sponsored by Iowa GOP Senator Chuck Grassley, and it failed to get the 60 votes for passage because no Democrats voted for it. The vote was 53-47, all along party lines. Any vote that took place was required to have 60 votes. Another Republican proposal to delay gun sales to individuals included on government terror watch lists failed in another partisan party line vote, 53-47. The bill would have allowed a judge to permanently block a purchase if the court determined probable cause of the individual being involved in terrorist activity. Another compromise bill is expected to hit the floor today. Expect the Democrats to block it. Another recall, this one frozen vegetables, and this time the cause, listeria. The recall from the National Frozen Foods Corporation involves frozen green peas and mixed vegetables sold under the Bountiful Harvest, First Street, Green Value, Live Smart, Market Pantry, and Sprouts Farmers Market brands. The FDA said sample testing showed the products may be contaminated with listeria. The vegetables were distributed to stores nationwide between September 2nd of 2015 and June 2nd of 2016. If you want a full list of the products, you can get the codes included by visiting fda.gov. There's plenty of recalls on there for you to go through. Well, participants are being sought for a study at Oregon State University, and they're asking a long overdue question. Does the use of multivitamin supplements really improve the nutritional status and ultimately the health of elderly adults? Believe it or not, there's almost no research on that topic. And as to what improvements in nutritional status actually occur when people take multivitamins or mineral supplements. Even less is known about the effects on the elderly at a time of life when substantial evidence shows that mineral or vitamin demands are higher and are more difficult to meet. So OSU is looking for men ages 40 to 70 to be tested to measure their response to the use of a multivitamin or their response to a lack of one. They say they're choosing men because even more than women, their diet as older adults is known to be deficient in vitamins A, C, D, E, K, as well as calcium, magnesium, and potassium. With temperatures hitting triple digits in the southwestern states and wildfire season starting in the Pacific Northwest, Brad Ford says firefighters are starting school here in Oregon.
The Interagency School is getting firefighters ready to battle blazes in Oregon's forests and rural areas. Stephanie Gatchell with the U.S. Forest Service says the week-long training is essential for wildland firefighters to know how to work in uneven terrain.
And to really get a sense of what it's going to be like, because safety is the most important aspect of this training.
They'll also be working in smoke and closely with crew members to dig fire lines. Gatchell says there's a variety of levels from no experience to leadership training. If they ace all the exams by Friday, they'll be available Saturday for any wildland fires. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, an Albany woman got into trouble on Sunday when she stole a tractor and a wagon at a farm on Peoria Road. And then she crashed the tractor and the wagon, blocking Peoria Road. Call came in at 4:15 Sunday afternoon. When police arrived, they found 45-year-old Leslie Ann Dumdy. Dumdy told police she was being chased by motorcycles and was trying to get to the FBI in Portland. The damage to the tractor and the wagon, $32,000. According to Lieutenant Michelle Duncan, Dumdy was booked into the Lane County Jail. Eugene officials say they're not expecting a citywide ban on fireworks this year. The mild, wet weather has reduced the fire risk. Police Chief Pete Kearns and Interim Chief of the Fire Department, Joe Zaludek, wrote in a memo to the City Council that they didn't see any need for an outright fireworks ban this year unless there was a rapid dry out and change in the weather. Last year, the Eugene City Council banned the use of legal fireworks in South Eugene over the 4th of July holiday weekend. The council cited extreme heat and fire threats. Well, if you're going to go on the road this summer, note that other people are going to be on the road this summer, and that Oregon actually tops the list of best road trip destinations.
Gas prices are up, but they're still more than 50 cents a gallon lower than this time last year. A Wallet Hub study finds Oregon tops the list of states for the best road trips. That's based on fun, scenic, and wallet-friendly things to do. It finds Oregon has the best rating for driving laws. Oregon ranked 3rd for scenic byways, 5th for nightlife options, and 9th for the number of attractions in the state. Oregon also ranks in the top 15 for having the lowest prices for camping. Brad Ford, KPNW.
God, it's hard to believe that we have the lowest prices for camping in most state campgrounds. It's going to cost you anywhere between about $20 to $24. Go figure. It's 8:20, News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120, KPNW.
So now we know why Jasmine Todd left the Oregon track and field team. She was academically ineligible. She had an arrangement with the professor to set work in late on an online course because of her athletic schedule. She even got a B in the class, but found out later, 8 weeks later, the university had not accepted the arrangement. Thus, she was considered academically ineligible. She competed in the Pac-12s, but not the NCAA championships. If either Oregon State or Oregon were involved in the College Baseball World Series, we would, of course, be talking about it a bit more. There's a West Coast team doing pretty good. UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos beat Miami, a major university, 5-3 to remain in the mix. They're in Omaha. Go Gauchos. Arizona lost to Oklahoma State 1-0 last night. It's confirmed Texas did offer Pat Casey the gig, but he decided to stay at Oregon State. Legendary Longhorn coach Augie Garrido stepped down in May. They're trying to fill with a big name, but it just won't be Casey. He'll be in Corvallis for the 23rd season, where he'll make about $825,000. No doubt it would have been a pay raise in Austin. Let's start with the good news with the Oregon football team. They have a great quarterback on the horizon, 4-star, 6'4", Colson Yankoff out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He'll be a part of the 2018 cycle. Oregon sophomore wide receiver Kirk Merritt is transferring to another school. His change due to family reasons. And the Eugene M's won their 3rd game on the road at Hillsboro. They took out or washed down the Hops 6-0. Hops made 4 errors in the field. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW, brought to you by Max Muscle. Don't get sold, get educated by a certified nutritionist. I'm Franklin, across from Market of Choice. News time 8:22.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good day to you and yours. This is Megan Shem with NBC 16. Here's a look at your weather. The first day of summer brought in those sunny skies, and they're expected to stick around all the way into the work week. Temperatures staying in the upper 70s, reaching all the way up into the 80s near Roseburg. In Eugene, Springfield, same sort of story with 70s all the way into the 80s towards the weekend. About a 20% chance of rain on Wednesday overnight. Thursday, only a 30% chance of rain. Not that much. Staying relatively cloud-free, and temperatures staying nice and warm for a majority of our region. Along the coast, temperatures dipping into the 50s at night, but still a nice, cool day for the coast and nice and warm inland. Stay with us on NBC 16 for your latest news and weather. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906. Is your body getting enough protein every day? Try Max Pro at Max Muscle. These protein shakes are packed with protein, very low carbs, and zero sugar. Chocolate malt, strawberry banana smoothie, blueberry, and more. Max Muscle. Try it before you buy it. Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Hi, this is Brian Sutherland, owner of Amco Transmissions in Springfield. For years, Amco in Springfield has been repairing your cars and trucks' most complicated system, the transmission. So it's no wonder people come to us with all sorts of problems. Don't take any chances. Bring your car to Amco in Springfield. We'll diagnose it right, repair it for a fair price, and back it with a nationwide warranty. Whether it's your car, truck, or motorhome, call Amco Springfield, 541-726-6824, or find us on Facebook. That's AA MCO.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/quick. That's ZipRecruiter.com/quick. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/quick.
Built for business. In business, time is money. In business, money is also money. No wonder nearly 1,000 businesses choose Comcast Business Internet over DSL from the phone company every single day. Not only is it up to 5 times faster, it's actually a better value when you go with the fastest plan. So take a minute out of your busy schedule and call Comcast Business. It will be well worth your time and your money. Switch to Comcast Business Internet. Then add voice and TV for just $34.90 a month. And ask about our 2-year price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Offer ends 8/31/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to one voice line and private view TV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires Comcast Business Internet and an additional monthly charge. Equipment, taxes, and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra. Savings claim based on cost per megabits per second. Compares Comcast 100 megabits per second and 20 megabits per second DSL downloads.
Right now, by clicking on OregonEDeals.com, you can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on goods and services from local businesses. OregonEDeals.com. Save on products to make your life better.
I'm hooked on OregonEDeals.com. I'm saving big.
A Budweiser, America, and Florida Georgia line.
I still remember our first big show. Budweiser's in the air, and hearing the crowd sing our song.
That's when it really feels like America is in our hands.
And when I'm holding an ice cold Budweiser that says America on the front.
That too. Cheers.
This Bud's for you.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Wake Up Call. Get in, hang out, and hold on.
Thanks for joining us. Here's what's going on.
They will find themselves in the same situation that Greece is in. Public safety is first.
You do this every 10 years? You had 10 years to get this together?
It's News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Judging by the website, looking at Trip Check, apparently 126, a major crash. I've never seen this before. It's got the icon with a car that's been affected by a major crash. So if you are doing Mohawk Boulevard, that's going to be affected. Depending upon which direction, you could have I-5 be hindered. It might just be a snarl. So if you're expecting people at 8:30 or maybe 8 o'clock and they're not there, they might be stuck in that, which is no fun.
Yeah.
Which is what we were doing.
Yeah.
Were you in the crash?
No. So the foster mom who has these 5 puppies, we have 5 puppies that need to go to the vet today. And I'm like, oh, well, bring them and I'll take them to the vet after the radio. And she's coming from Upper Camp Creek, and we were supposed to meet just after 8, and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't get past Mohawk. So it's bad.
Then we're thinking it's westbound. Because we're trying to figure out which direction. And if she's coming in, probably affected both directions. Because if it's a major crash, you have folks going east checking it out as
probably
well.
Both directions.
Yeah.
So we were going to bring in these 5 cute little terrier puppies that are going to be ready for adoption this weekend, and that's okay. Instead, I brought in one of the dogs that are kind of behind the scenes. That
you called it a default off the air.
Well,
in front of its face.
Oh, puppy's a default.
Okay, we need better words.
Well,
so Leia is a dog that we've had since December.
Are you not even going to introduce the human that's in here as well?
Oh, well, and I brought my daughter, Kaylee, because she has always begged to come to the radio, and now it's summer.
Is she up for adoption as well?
Well, she might try to be. If you go to PetSmart and you offer to take her to the birds and the fish, she may disappear with you.
Is that true? You like the birds and the fish? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite part of going down there? Yeah.
Kaylee, what school do you go to?
Oh, let's see, a pet center.
Pet center.
Oh.
Still telling me you go to Gillum. No.
Good for her.
I like you.
She's very selective with what she says.
Yes,
and she
I like you. I'm not telling you where to go.
Conversation in the Sixer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not telling you where to go.
Kaylee was all excited to see puppies, but she knows Leia also.
Again, about the
Hey, you guys always want me to bring cute puppies, and I tried.
Well,
but
the chair is in the way. She can't get over here.
Come on, Leia. Leia is a dog that was sent to us. She just went back the other way. She's a German Shepherd mix, maybe, or I'm not sure, maybe Boxer or something.
I see Boxer.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's a beautiful dog, and she actually is a sweet dog. She's got a sweet soul. It's just a matter of finding the right home for her.
She looks timid.
She is extremely timid, and you sneezed and her head ducked.
Well, it's probably wise that happened.
But she.
Oh,
I know.
Rob's down on his hands and knees trying to get her to respond to him, and she ran away. It's like, okay, I'm not digging that.
Once you have her in your home, and we're looking for somebody who has another dog. Leia is free. There's no adoption fee with her.
Now, why is that?
Because of we need a person who is going to be willing to put the time in with her and be patient. This is not a dog you take home and she loves you in 24 hours. She needs a couple weeks just to settle in at first and not be pushed. If you push her, she hides. If she's just there and you kind of, like we're doing right now, and we kind of just leave her alone, she's out in the room, she's checking things out, she's fine. I don't know what happened to this dog. I have never seen a dog this bad, this traumatized.
Really?
I mean, we've had her for so long.
Well, how long is so long?
December.
Yeah.
and she's in a foster home. I mean, she's, it's not that foster takes her places. We take her to PetSmart on weekends. We just tell people, just don't touch her unless she lets you.
Well, she does bite, does she?
She's never bitten anybody, but she can panic and growl, and
I can kind of see
she
that.
wants to just be invisible. She wants to disappear.
How does she get along with other dogs?
Absolutely. When you see her with other dogs, that's what makes this hard. She is perfect. So she needs a home with other dogs. If you've got a pack of dogs and you can add one more, you won't even know she's there. I mean, she runs out and plays with them. She does absolutely everything with all the other dogs, and she'll come up to you. She'll take treats out of your hands, but she's not going to be sitting in your lap. Maybe if there's one person in the home that puts all their attention with her, she can become that. But
sounds like to me she's a good judge of character. She likes the dogs and humans are crap, which is probably accurate.
That's about right.
You know, we've had a lot of people
I'm feeling the same
say,
way.
"Why don't you just euthanize her? Because that's no way for a dog to live."
Who said that?
We've had people say that, but if
Were they
you
over in Green Hill?
if you if you see her, okay, she's a normal dog. She is an absolutely perfect normal dog as long as there's another dog around and she gets comfortable and she's fine. But no, she's not the dog. She goes to the dog park. You can take her to the dog park. She has a blast. And when it's time to go, she hops up in the car. You know, she knows her routine. But something has traumatized this dog severely from human touch. She is just like, I can pet her, but the minute you touch her, she just freezes.
I wonder
She's
if she
like,
was
what's
beaten.
going to happen to me? And
Where did she come from? Do we know?
she came from Bakersfield.
Okay.
And she was pregnant when she came.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, she's just timid. This is beyond timid. You know, we don't lie. We're very honest about the dogs because we need to make sure that she finds the right place where she can live. Kids scare her. Like, she's fine with my daughter because she's not in her face constantly grabbing her and pushing her. And, you know, if kids are around, she's fine. But if they're constantly after her, she tries to get away. And if she can't get away, she'll growl. But she's never bitten. She's never actually done anything beyond growling and being terrified. So we're hoping we can find a home for her. Yeah. We've had her, like I said, we've had her since December. Her puppies, we actually had to take her puppies away from her early at about 5 weeks.
Why?
Because that personality was starting to come through with the puppies. And we didn't know what else to do other than to take the puppies away and give them a different role model. But because we were afraid that all of her puppies were going to start being timid like that too. It's a learned behavior, definitely. But
maybe it's serendipity. You know, the fact that she came in today, maybe somebody out there or either is thinking about themselves or they know somebody that would be, should be perfect for her.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, there's no adoption fee, but we're going to be very careful. We're not going to just hand her leash over and say, here you go.
Right.
You know, and we're here to help. I mean,
questions off of the email.
Mm-hmm.
One, how old?
She's about 3 years old, is what the vet thinks.
And has she been with a cat?
She is living with cats, dogs. Matter of fact, her foster mom is fostering a litter of kittens, and they were all over her, sleeping on her, and she just froze and was like, I don't know what to do. These things are on me. But she didn't do anything. She's living with cats. So, you know, there's hope for this dog. It's just not going to happen overnight. You've got to give her time.
Right.
And, gosh, she loves her foster mom so much that we know she is able to have that relationship. It's just not the huggy, cuddly, you know. And what her foster mom, she'll reach over and pet her, and if she flinches, she's like, oh, stop it, Leia. And then Leia's like, oh, okay, I'm good. So she needs that kind of person who,
A little bit of tough love.
Right, little bit of tough love, exactly.
How was she in the elevator coming up?
She was actually, she's interesting. Whoever has her leash, Leia will follow everywhere. It's a really strange kind of behavior, and I mean, we need the dog whisperer on this dog. She's got behaviors I've never dealt with before, and I'm not sure how to get her through them other than repetition and things. Right. But so if people have ideas, she's severe. This is, like I said, this is the worst case I've ever seen.
All right, how about a Facebook page?
Yeah, so Facebook/Lucky Paws site, and her name is Leia. I think it's Leia. She is listed on Pet Finder, I believe, talks about her, and her puppies are out there in the world. They all look just like her.
She was standing beside me, and I wasn't paying attention to her. I wasn't looking at her. As soon as I made eye contact, she's out of there.
Right.
So you just have to ignore her and
exactly.
work your way.
It's like what is it? No look, no touch, no talk, or whatever Cesar Millan says. She's fine in the room until you look at her or acknowledge her. But that does go away. Her foster mom runs a group home for adults with disabilities.
Oh.
There are constantly people coming and going, new people and everything, and she has to deal with that. And she'll usually go off on her own and lay in a bed, or they keep a wire crate open and she'll go into that and she feels safe in there. So as long as she has a safe place to go to get away, she's good.
Well, they kind of deal like that with me here at work. They had a little wire crate for me. It's like, here, Bill.
Lucky Paw's going to be out Saturday.
We will be out Saturday. We're going to have these puppies that I was going to bring, so we have 5 little tiny, wiry, or the mom's a wire-haired terrier. So these are her puppies. So they're small breed, little tiny things, and then we'll have a couple other dogs. We have a little German Shepherd that I think
puppy.
She's about a year old or so, cute as can be, and so she'll be there.
And you'll be out there what time?
I'll be out there 12:30 to 4. We have another special little dog who needs a home, a Pomeranian, purebred Pomeranian, who is just a little bossy. So she needs somebody who can deal with that. Sweet little dog. She's just bossy. So.
As she should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the breed.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go get Leah a home. It's 8:40, News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. If investors are watching Janet Yellen's Senate testimony for hints about the timing of the next Fed rate hike, they're getting the message that it might be a while. The Dow up 37 points, the Nasdaq up 1, and the S&P up 5 as the Fed chief talks about an uncertain economic outlook and a more cautious approach to rate hikes than the Fed signaled last week. The forecast from United Continental is not exactly rosy for the airline, but it's better than it was. United shares are up almost 4% as it says its passenger revenue this quarter is not falling as much as it had predicted before. As the Sports Authority closes stores after declaring bankruptcy, there's a plan that could see some staying open under a different name. The Wall Street Journal reports Modell's is in talks to buy as many as 200 stores. Bids for their store leases are due on Thursday. About 450 Sports Authority stores are holding going out of business sales now. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
The Wake Up Call Mattress Mania Team Challenge is right around the corner. Friday, July 15th at Springfield Golf Club. Shotgun start 8 a.m. Tons of fun and great prizes like the Oak Grove Guns $1 Million Shot, a 50-foot putt for $5,000 sponsored by Cuthbert Amphitheater, and a bushel of cash hole-in-one brought to you by Dietering Orchards. Of course, there's KP Long Drive, Straight Drive for men and women. Register now at KPNW.com. $99 gets you golf and lunch in our two-person scramble July 15th. It's the Wake Up Call Mattress Mania Team Challenge. Register today.
Hi.
Hello there.
We're here doing a survey. When do you watch television?
Oh,
well, sometimes in the morning.
Mostly at night.
Yeah, at night too, yeah. Okay, and when do you listen to the radio? Radio. Yeah. Well, it wakes me up. Fine, and you also?
Oh, yeah, we both listen to the radio at the breakfast table.
Yeah, we get the news and the weather and the sports.
And all our favorite music, too.
And in the car when I drive the kids to school.
Oh, yeah, when I'm driving to work also, sure.
Always all day long at the office, I know
I've got one in the sewing room.
I didn't know that.
Well, honey, I took the radio that you had in the garage.
Okay, I need that radio in the garage.
Well, folks, we just wanted to know. You have a radio in your shop. I mean, why don't you just use that one?
Yeah, which reminds me, where's the portable with the earplugs? Well,
I use that for jogging along the river. You know
Hey, that's
that.
the one I take to the Ducks game.
Well, it's my radio.
Well, why don't you use one of the kids' radios?
Kids' radio. Are you kidding? You try to get one of the radios away
You're
from the
an
kids.
adult. You're bigger than them. Just take it. When people spend so much time with one advertising medium, isn't that where you should be advertising? Call this station or any Eugene area radio station. Radio, it gets results.
Are you putting your money into an IRA, pension, or 401k?
then I hope you're prepared to lose 30, 40, 50% or more of your retirement savings, because it's not a question of if the market crashes again. It's a question of when. It's going to happen. Did you know there is a way you can protect and grow your wealth safely and predictably every single year? The people using this approach didn't lose a penny when the market crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. In fact, their money will continue to grow safely year in and year out, even when stocks, real estate, and other investments tumble. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. This free report shows how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your retirement in the Wall Street casino. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement. It far outperforms any IRA or 401k. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
So, you've decided you want to clean your carpet, and there's a bunch of different ways you can go. Now, you can go down to the store and you can rent one of those things that you put the detergent in that always leaves your carpet smelling just a wee bit funky, and then when you touch it, it kind of feels, well, soapy, slimy. All right, you can go that route. You can hire somebody that's going to come out and put a bunch of chemicals on your carpet, and it's going to smell strange after that as well. And then have that kind of gritty feeling that you get when it dries out. That gritty feeling is the chemicals that they actually use on your carpet, whether it's like a surfactant or surfactant, actually. Whether it's a surfactant or whether it's some other type of chemicals that they use on it, that gritty stuff actually attracts more dirt. All right. And what happens is it actually starts breaking down the carpet fibers. I mean, you ever notice that sometimes you'll see a carpet and it just looks like it's just been flattened? Well, that's because the carpet fiber is broken down. Zero Res doesn't do that because the chemical they're using is water. It's water that actually has gone through an electrolysis process that changes the pH. And I know you're going, that doesn't happen in real life. You look it up online, it's actually a part of science projects. No kidding. And it was created by the guy who started, John Hopkins. He's the one that first noticed it. And they started experimenting with it and began to realize, this stuff cleans carpets and a bunch of other things too. And when it dries, what's drying on your carpet is simply water. It dries out faster, it dries clean, and you will be amazed at how nice your carpet's going to look. Contact Zero Res. Tell them that KPNW or Bill London suggested that you call, and you'll get $44 per room cleaned, which is really inexpensive. $44 a room cleaned, minimum supply. Call Zero Res, 541-9880. It's 541-9880, ZERO. You can check them out at zeroreseugene.com. I went out with them on calls, and it really is amazing. They do great work.
Not your typical wheezy morning news show. The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
847. The owner of Auto House, Euro Asian, and Stadium Automotive, and I think he has stock in Consumer Reports. George Roden joining us.
I have stock
on the studios.
It just makes sense, so I got stock. Good morning, gentlemen.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Yes. Got lots of good things to talk about.
Good.
Sometimes, as you're driving down the road of life, there are things that annoy you.
Oh.
And those things that I have been annoyed by...
Would you call them pet peeves?
Well, no, they're not my pets. My pets annoy me sometimes too, but yeah, they could be called pet peeves.
Okay.
Is we have customers that come in and say, I've got an oil leak. Will you check it out? This is weird. We just saw the vehicle and we didn't see any oil leak. So we pull the car in, put it up on the rack, and we look. And there is, I can't even describe, I've been looking for the word to describe the few molecules of oil that escape through a pan or an O-ring, pan gasket, some kind of gasket, that leave the slightest amount of residue. Folks, this is not a leak. It's not a seep. And as I said, I'm struggling for the word that I'm looking.
How do they even notice it then? I mean, if
they're in some place getting a repair or a recall, and they're told that they have an oil leak. there is no oil leak. Another thing that gets me.
But if somebody tells them that and they're not mechanically inclined, how are they going to know unless they bring to you and go, I think I've got an oil leak?
Well,
They
I've
said
got the cure here. I've got the answer. But let me continue. Also, something that happens. There's something called a shock absorbers, and all cars have 4 shock absorbers, one in every corner. Some of the high performance off-roaders use more than one shock per corner. But anyway, and by the way, a McPherson strut has a shock absorber in it. So a strut and a shock the strut is a suspension. There is a shock absorber inside this. This polished metal rod goes in and out of an oil bath literally millions and millions of times. Every time it goes in, it gathers, and I'm going to use molecules of oil that the seal does not keep in this oil bath. And let's say it deposits a very, very small film of oil on top of the shock absorber. And you could not put it in a teaspoon. Teaspoon wouldn't do it. A drop is too much oil because it's so well distributed, because, like I said, they're taking molecules of oil. And it leaves a little dampness on top of your shock absorber or strut. And they say, well, your shock absorber is leaking. It's not leaking. Let's define what a leak is. A leak is, I consider an oil leak is when it physically touches the ground. You have a leak then, okay? So bottom line is, the cure is, if you go to a place and you don't notice any oil on the ground and you're told that you have an oil leak, it may be a good time to get a second opinion. To me, it is, I like to be ethical. I like to save people money. I like to repair cars only when they're needed to repair cars. So if you're told this, particularly not by your regular shop, and by the way, I recommend everyone have a regular shop they go to. We have a lot of great shops in towns. We have good dealers in town, but stay consistent. But if you get this reply,
Who do you suggest not going?
Yeah,
to,
I was just going to ask you that.
Oh,
Where should
not
they
a
not
chance,
go?
not a chance, not a chance.
Oh, come on.
I recommend you go to Eurasian Stadium and
Yeah, that's
Auto
right.
House.
He's taking the high road.
We
He's taking
have
the
a
high road.
Great.
Yeah, but I want to know who you think are just slimy.
Yeah.
Who are the slimes?
Anyway, so we're not going there with you, Bill. Sorry. We have a great deal of great shops in town. We really, really do. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you don't have any oil on the ground and you're told you have an oil leak, it may be time to get a second opinion. That being said, there are some vehicles that have a nice plastic shield for aerodynamic, make it more slippery, that the oil will collect in. So that what I said is not always true. And the only time this oil leaks out is when you put on your brakes, it leaks out a crevice and then spills on the road. Oil is bad for the road. Why is it bad for the road? Well, there's a couple reasons why.
If you have a motorcycle, there's one.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's really scary. Also, oil washes off, goes into the storm sewers, which are untreated. It ends up into a waterway, the Willamette, and then the Columbia. So all that oil goes away to our waterways. So that's a reason to be concerned. So I'm saying be concerned if you really have an oil leak. Also, something interesting about oil, it deteriorates the pavement itself. It will start eating away at the pavement. So and as you pointed out, it's real dangerous for motorcycles.
Okay, question about oil. Since we're talking about oil here, typical car, I know that there are certain cars that they suggest that you use synthetic oils with. Mm-hmm. Typically, what do you say about synthetic oils versus non-synthetic? Which, I mean,
a synthetic oil is a better oil. There's no doubt. And we encourage people to use synthetic, and the reason being is it's efficient. It lasts longer. And it saves time because you don't need to get your oil serviced as much. Minimum conventional oil every 3,000 to 5,000. synthetic oil every 5 to 10,000. By the way, I got a new motorhome on a Mercedes Sprinter chassis. They're saying 20,000 miles. I'm sorry, folks, and maybe I'm ignorant on something, as I'm often am, but we pull enough German cars down to find there's solenoids in newer vehicles, a lot of solenoids, and they use oil pressure to control the cam timing. And so if these things get gunked up, you run across a lot of problem. You have to replace these solenoids. So I'm in this newer car, I'm going to go with 10,000 miles.
Okay, so then, I mean, since we're on this about, the synthetic, non-synthetic, a car that, for instance, now somebody's hearing this going, oh, well, I'm going to start using synthetics in my car. If you've been using, standard oil, conventional oil in your car, and let's say it's, 5, 6 years old, and you've been using conventional oil this time, is it going to harm it? Is it okay to just one day go, forget it, now I'm on synthetic?
I have never come across a problem that I've read that it's okay. Of course, you always hear the disaster stories.
Sure.
After I started using conventional oil or synthetic oil, I started burning a lot of oil. I have never come across that. It's basically the same base with some enhancers put in it to make the oil life longer. The biggest thing in oil is contaminants in the oil, which filters do a pretty good job. But one of the things that happens with oil is as it ages, I'm going to say it turns into the word coke. It cokes it kind of like coal, okay? And it gets on the walls and it gets into the oil passages, like hardening to the arteries. It breaks off and goes into the solenoids or into oil passages and ruined cylinder heads and camshafts is a real common thing. It's usually the upper end that runs across the problem. Or I have seen it actually plug oil pickup screens.
Is it true, though, that some oil, and I don't know whether we're talking about conventional or synthetic, that as it gets to a certain age, it actually acidifies?
Well, acidifies. With that, you have all kinds of things going on up in your combustion chamber. Pistons have rings on them. Rings keep the combustion up. It keeps 99.9% of it. Some of that combustion gases gets down into what you call your crankcase, where all your oil is.
Okay, makes sense. So it contaminates it.
It contaminates it, but it also, particularly in places that it rains, your air that gets down there is moist, and it starts mixing with the oil with these other combustion gases, and it turns your oil into a little bit, I'm going to use the word crud for a better word. And also, but in cars you have what you call crankcase ventilation. It actually pulls air through to get that icky stuff out of there. But if you're a real short driver, not very many miles, it will start contaminating it worse. That's why you should have a limit on the amount of time for an oil change. I recommend an oil change yearly if you're driving the car short distances. For the hot rodders that drive their vehicles, to function in the junction or 4 or 5 times a year, but they at least put 20, 30 miles on it, you don't need to change your oil every year.
Okay. Less than a minute. Make sure you get the biggie that you wanted to cover today on.
Is make sure that you know the difference between an oil leak, an oil seep, and a dusting of oil. And sometimes it's a good idea to get a second opinion.
Auto House, Euro-Asian Stadium might be that second opinion. George, thank you.
Yes.
Hey, don't forget, last chance to get, not last chance, Umpqua Ice Cream Social. If you haven't got your nomination in, get it in, 1120kpnw@gmail.com. Hopefully you know all the information.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And a Thirsty Thursday coming up. We'll be here for you tomorrow, bright and early, 6:05, kicking things off today. And don't forget, 126, 6.09. We still got that crash out there. Looks pretty bad. See you tomorrow.
Rodent droppings, insects, dirt, lost jewelry and toys. What is in your heating and cooling ductwork? Contact Pacific Air Comfort, your local Carrier factory authorized dealer, to inspect your home's heating and cooling system's ductwork for free. Turn to the experts for your home, and their professional staff will inspect your heating and cooling system and ducts, offering solutions that address your needs. Clean air ducts or new Carrier equipment, they will make you Pacific Air comfortable. Pacific Air Comfort. Quality system design, quality Carrier equipment, quality installation, and outstanding 24/7 service and repairs. Visit PacificAirComfort.com. That's PacificAirComfort.com. Or call 541-342-5300. That's 541-342-5300 to receive Pacific Air Comfort's award-winning service today.
Weekend warriors only get 52 weekends a year, but the BMW X5 makes the most of any day. It has up to 76 cubic feet of cargo space with optional third-row seating for up to 7 passengers. An optional X-Drive self-leveling rear axle air suspension and active roll stabilization make unfavorable road conditions a drive in the park. Get your 52 and everything in between. Versatile BMW X5. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Financing and leasing available by BMW Financial Services. Visit BMW of Eugene.
A good beer and some good friends, or maybe some new friends. That's the whole idea behind Thirsty Thursday. We've got another Thirsty Thursday coming up this coming Thursday. Go figure, it's on a Thursday. We're going to be out at First National Tap House, 51 West Broadway. I'm Bill London. Come on down and join us for some great Whitmer brews and some great prizes. We're going to be blowing out tickets to James Taylor, Weird Al, Counting Crows, Eugene M's baseball, and more. Come on down and see us at the First National Tap House at 51 West Broadway, 4 to 7 this
you
Thursday.
decide. This is News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. Meeting behind closed doors in New York City, Donald Trump and about 1,000 top evangelical and social conservative leaders.
I spoke with one of the organizers of today's evangelical meeting with Trump, Penny Nance. She is the head of Concerned Women for America. She told me, she's a former Ted Cruz supporter, she told me what she needs to hear from Donald Trump is his positions on Planned Parenthood, support for religious freedom, support for Israel, and the type of Supreme Court justices he would nominate.
Fox's John Roberts. In a new national CNN poll, Hillary Clinton has a 5-point lead over Trump. The likely Republican nominee is also playing down his lousy fundraising numbers in May, insisting that June's report will be better. Clinton is in Columbus, Ohio, about to deliver what her campaign is billing as a major economic speech. Aides telling Fox News the speech will directly target Trump's economic credentials. Her campaign is also expected to meet this week with potential vice presidential candidates. The skies are getting friendlier for small commercial drones. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The new rules from the FAA will mean that any commercial drone operator must pass a knowledge test to fly a drone. Transportation Secretary Anthony Fox says only commercial drones weighing less than 55 pounds can operate in sparsely occupied areas without the need to coordinate with air traffic control.
In more congested areas, the operator will still need permission from the Federal Aviation Administration to fly.
That means that deliveries from companies like Amazon.com will not be allowed immediately until separate rules overseeing them are written and approved by the FAA. Pam?
Thanks, John. By next week, Fiat Chrysler plans to stop producing new vehicles in North America with the most dangerous type of Takata airbag inflators. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Is the economy booming? Why is the stock market up? Hey, it's an election year. Anything goes. No matter who wins, stocks look overbought. Move into silver. Use your retirement account. Do it right. Why pay setup and storage fees? Special offer. Free setup and storage fees. Learn how. Call Goldworth. Request your guide free. 800-257-GOLD. 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 Visit goldworth.com.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A general steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 800-98-STEEL. 800-98-STEEL. That's 800-987-8330.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Deb Carson.
Have a pair of Group C matches coming up in Euro 2016. Northern Ireland taking on Germany, Ukraine facing Poland. Meanwhile, NBA news, the Lakers will introduce new head coach Luke Walton at 6 p.m. Eastern at a media conference this afternoon. He has been the assistant and early this year, the interim head coach for the Golden State Warriors. Now that the championship is over, he is free to make the move to the Lakers. Former NFL receiver Devon Best was arrested Monday and charged with 3 felonies following a standoff with SWAT team officers in what should have been a routine traffic stop in Arizona. Best fled the scene and led police on a chase before the eventual standoff. He's now charged with endangerment, felony flight, and failure to stop for a police officer. Last night, Kenley Jansen became the Dodgers franchise all-time saves leader with 162. Dodgers beat the Nationals 4-1.
Every election year, you hear lots of promises and few guarantees. Lars Larson here to tell you about one guarantee you have right here in Eugene and Lane County. Jeremy Parmenter will sell your home. That's right, Jeremy guarantees to sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it. And Jeremy will sell your home fast. Darbin and Ruby wanted to sell their home and move out of the country. They didn't need the extra stress that comes with selling their home, so they called Jeremy Parmenter. He sold their home in less than 30 days, right on schedule, and got them $10,000 more than any house in that neighborhood. Why would you think of working with any other agent in Eugene or Lane County? And there's no risk. If you want out of the contract, you're out. Call the only agent I recommend in Eugene. Call Jeremy Parmenter at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. Online, OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com. That's OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Text the word TRIAL to 303030, and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Now here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text TRIAL to 303030 and get started for free right now. Again, text TRIAL to 303030.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
It's 9:06 and time for Rush. Rush Limbaugh on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Hey, look, folks, I don't care how you slice it out there. There's a degree of panic and concern on the Democrat side about Trump versus Hillary. And I have the telltale signs to back that up. They've got the CNN poll out there, and they're not happy about it. Now, the drive-bys are trying to present it as though it is just wonderful news for Hillary, but it isn't. When you factor everything in, it is not good news. And if you go to the right places in the drive-by media, you will see that certain members give it all up, give it away. The way to look at this is, given the apparent, see, everything here is apparent. Everything's being judged. They're judging Trump by the same old standards that you judge every other normal politician by. You can't do that. So they're looking at Trump and the fact he doesn't have any money. compared to Hillary. They're looking at Trump and they don't see a campaign organization. They look at Trump and it's a big deal that he fired somebody. Big whoop. People get fired in campaigns all the time for all kinds of different reasons. But they're looking at all this stuff and they're thinking, this guy isn't even serious. Then they go over to the Republican side and they see that there's a near mutiny in there. At the convention, they're still plotting ways to overthrow Trump. Given that, Hillary ought to be up 70-30. And she's barely up above the margin of error. And in certain areas of the CNN ORC poll, Trump is cleaning her clock. This poll is not satisfying. It is not uplifting. It is not pleasing to the Democrats. They're only acting like it is. And here's the dead giveaway. This is the CNN headline on their own poll. Clinton tops Trump, but neither prompts excitement. That's the dead giveaway that this is not going the way the Democrats thought it would go. They have been thinking since last June. By the way, greetings, Rush Limbaugh here. Notice that I'm so interested in getting strict to the issues, I don't even have to get into the ego aspect of this and mention my name, because you all know who I am anyway. And by now, you all know the phone number, 800-282-2882. They figured in the Democrat side now, and some of the established Republicans who cannot take themselves out of the mold. They cannot get themselves outside the box and look at this in the right way. They've never been able to. You can't plug Trump into the standard, ordinary, everyday procedures of party politics. But they're trying to. And when they do, of course, he looks terrible when you plug him into that playbook. But the polls are not showing that. Now, as I say, the way they're writing the polls would make the average, ordinary, low-information voter think it looks bad. But to us seasoned veterans here, the Democrats, excuse me a second, the Democrats have been thinking privately, there have been some exceptions to this, privately the Democrats have been thinking ever since Trump first insulted Mexicans and McCain that this is going to be a cakewalk. They have believed it's going to be a cakewalk, and they've been biding their time, and they've been biting their tongues. They have been doing everything they can to make it look like they consider Trump to be a serious opponent, but they never have thought that. In the bowels of the Democrat Party Advisory Caucus, like with Carville and with Begala and these guys. Now, Carville may have been up to speed on this in the beginning. He may have had a proper level of concern about it. But I guarantee that most of the other places, they have thought it's going to be a slam dunk. And the Democrats, they've gone through their own ups and downs. You get crazy Bernie over here. Hillary couldn't close that out without monkeying with the rules and using the elites playing their power card over there. So, but the way they look at this, Hillary should have been running away with this, should be over. The polls that are up there right now should show Trump with no chance whatsoever. It's just not the case. And they're all in a state, I wouldn't call it panic, but they're concerned. Let's go through some of the data points here, just to illustrate. And yeah, some of the things were. This is one of the greatest. I'm just teasing you with some of the other things coming. A columnist for the Chicago Sun-Times. This is so good. This guy is a columnist, and he was assigned the task of showing how easy it is to get a gun. We had the morning update today about this CBS reporter who wanted to do the same thing. They're all going into gun shops and trying to show how easy they'll sell a gun to anybody. You don't need to get a background check. It's all a bunch of BS. You walk in, you fork over the money, they'll give you a machine gun if you want it, is the image that they're trying to portray. Wait till you hear the details on this clown from the Chicago Sun-Times. I'll just cut to the chase. The guy, his application was not approved. They found out he's an alcoholic, and he's got a couple charges of wife abuse or spousal abuse or something, and they would not give him the gun. He wanted to leave that out of the column. And his editor said, no, you got to put it in there. So he put it in there. But he said that wasn't the real reason they didn't let me have a gun. They didn't let me have the gun because they knew I was a reporter, and they knew I was going to try to shaft them. No, the background system worked. The guy didn't deserve getting a gun. He couldn't pass the background check. He's alcoholic or has had alcoholic issues, I don't know, and spousal abuse issues, charges. System worked, and it's just classic. And we got to show you what we're up against. We have some Kim Kardashian tweets on this. That the problem is Kim Kardashian is thought of as an oracle by low information people. And she's got a series of tweets on how easy it is to get a gun and background checks don't exist. It's all wrong. It's a no. I have spies. I'm not reading Kim Kardashian tweets. I don't follow anybody on Twitter. I'm not. No. The guy who reports to me, I read his report yesterday on his daughter is a millennial. And he tracks her and her friends and reports to me. He's the guy that told me that sustainability is a big deal to them. He's the one sent me this. He's the one out there following this stuff, trying to keep me up to speed so I don't have to do it. I wouldn't go follow Kim Kardashian. Anyway, it's going to fit right with the Chicago Sun-Times piece. It's going to go perfectly with it. So don't worry how I got it. What does it matter how I got it? Are you prepared to sit in there and say that your opinion of me might change if you found out that I was following Kim Kardashian? Don't even go there. Then there's this Secret Service agent who has written this tell-all book about Bill and Hillary and so forth. This is dynamite. Well, Secret Service is mad. Some former agents are mad. But, who is this guy? I can't remember his name. Robert O'Neill. The Special Forces guy who claims to have pulled the trigger, shot the bullet that killed Osama. Well, he came out and identified himself, and a bunch of people in the Special Forces community, the SEAL community, say, you just don't do that. We don't have, it's never been done before. We've had all kinds of secret missions and great heroic acts, and you've never known which SEAL did it. So it didn't mean he didn't do it. See, my point is, O'Neill went out and said, he's now a Fox analyst. He says he's the guy. He's the one that countered bin Laden. He pulled the trigger. He killed him. He's made a big deal of it. His fellow SEALs, when he first did this, let it be known they thought this was a violation of tradition, decorum, propriety, and all that. But that nobody said he didn't do it. Well, it's the same as this guy writing a book. Yeah, you got all kinds of people. Oh, this is horrible. I can't believe he did it. But nobody's denying it, are they? Oh, some of them are saying he couldn't been where he would have needed to be to see some of this stuff, right? Okay. Well, look, the Secret Service's job is to protect the president. They're going to circle the wagons. I mean, it doesn't mean the stuff isn't true. I mean, some of it reads believable. Like Hillary found out about Monica. They were having sex there on the desk of the Oval Office, so she put her over in the West Wing, and Clinton hired her back. Actually started paying her so that he could get her back in the East Wing. No, Hillary's in the West Wing. East Wing. She was in the West Wing. Hillary took her to the East Wing, and then Clinton started paying her, not an intern, paying her so you get her back in the West Wing. And then there's all sorts of Bibles being thrown and ashtrays being thrown. McGovern's daughter, but he knew that. I mean, that's not earth-shattering news. Neither is Barbara Streisand. That's not news either, although this guy may not mention Streisand. I haven't read the book. But we have it coming up. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah, there's more in Mateen. Omar Siddiqui Mateen and the whole ramifications on the Democrat Party, Republican Party, and gay voters and so forth. So we've got that. And I didn't spend a lot of time yesterday on Lewandowski, folks. I'll tell you why. There was nothing here that you weren't going to hear anywhere else. It's not that big a deal. People get fired in campaigns. Well, we told you what was important about it, and that is that Trump children were the primary movers and shakers, and they're out there saying today, yeah, it would not be wrong to say that. Lewandowski's being a loyal soldier. He's still out there being loyal and talking up Trump and so forth. I'm sure he's hoping he's going to be hired back somewhere down the road if Trump gets elected. Or maybe even later on during the campaign, but the drive-bys are looking for Lewandowski to start throwing dirt and dig that. It wasn't going to happen. Lewandowski is loyal to Trump, and so they're trying to do anything they can here to destroy Trump in June, which is another thing that apparently now we are learning happens to be in the playbook. June is where campaigns are won or lost. Who knew? But now all of a sudden we're finding out that this is how Obama beat Romney, did it in June, just like Hillary is now beating Trump in June. Ad buys. Romney couldn't reply, didn't have the ability to spend the money. Trump doesn't have the money. And there are other historical aspects of this being brought to bear. But all of this is the conventional wisdom on things. And I still maintain with Trump here, you can't plug him into all of these formulas and systems that you can plug a standard, ordinary, everyday politician into. Now, they're trying to make Trump into that. Even some on the Republican side are trying to make sure that Trump starts following the playbook rules and so forth. But he's resisting it. He's on the Today Show today, and he apologized to Elizabeth Warren for calling her Pocahontas. He said it was an insult to Pocahontas. So he apologized to Pocahontas. He apologized for calling her Pocahontas. He didn't apologize to her. He apologized. So he's not backing out. Look, let me take a break here. We'll come back because I don't want to have a 2 or 3 minute segment on their side of this, starting into the polling data. But it adds up to something that's, climate change. We have more on that today. And there's John Kerry, who, the former Vietnam War veteran, served in Vietnam, has come out, finally admitted that ISIS is a bigger threat than climate change. This, I know it's funny because, but Kerry admits all this time, he and Obama and everybody in the regime have been claiming that climate change represents the biggest threat. But now it's ISIS. Now why change? Why do this? I mean, climate change and the Democrat Party are inseparable. And the Democrats making it the number one issue. There are reasons for this. It's absurd, of course, because there isn't even any evidence that it's happening. All we have are computer models. But see, here we have this little heat wave out in the Southwest the past 3 or 4 days, and everybody, see, it's never been. I bet you go look at historical temperatures, you'll find days at this time of year, since records have been kept, where temperatures are as high, maybe even higher, than what they've been. But to young people who don't have that historical perspective, oh my God, it's never been this. Oh my God, climate change. Oh my God, global warming. Oh my God, we're frying. Oh my God, we're broiling. Oh my God, it's over. Oh my God, the climate change people are right. And they're not. They're no closer to being right because of the weather this weekend anywhere than they've ever been closer to being right, because all they've got is computer models. They don't even have any data. Climate change is not even about science. It's all thorough, 100% politics. And the Democrats have found the way to make millennials and young people believe that it's true, and that is by convincing them that their future is inexorably tied to it. Hello, sustainability. And it's a shame what's been done to these people. The millennials have actually, I touched on this yesterday, liberalism, never seen doom and gloom and pessimism so successfully sold. Now, I know that negativism and pessimism are human emotions that are natural. In other words, you don't have to work hard to be negative. You don't have to work hard to be a pessimist. You don't have to reach a certain level of consciousness in order to be negative. We all can easily do it. Being optimistic and positive is what takes work. But the Democrats are not selling optimism. When you get right down to it, they're not. They're selling pessimism and doom and gloom, and then they link the only hope you have to survive is by voting for us and keeping us in power and expanding our power so that we can go out and punish the people who are ruining your future. And that's the pitch to young people, and it's worked. So we've got our work cut out peeling all that away. One of the many objectives of this program, day in and day out. that.
Doing the work that the mainstream American media just won't do. Rush on the EIB network.
April 15th comes and goes. Most folks don't think much about taxes. But for some people, the unsettled sensation of dealing with the IRS is an everyday distraction. Take the example of Karen, a mother of three, a member of this audience. She learned the hard way that she had a tax debt left over from a previous marriage. The IRS served her employer notice of a wage garnishment for back taxes lingering from the past relationship. Now, there's one company capable of helping people like Karen, and that's Tax Defense Partners. They quickly got in touch with the IRS on her behalf. She's a listener here. She called them. Tax Defense Partners was able to put together a payment plan without heavy garnishments. Tax Defense Partners has been a leader in their industry for 2 decades, specializing in tax defense and tax resolution. It's the only firm we recommend here. If you owe back taxes, contact Tax Defense Partners, 800-499-7777. That's 800-499-7777.
Hi, I'm Kyle Cox, founder and owner of Blindster.com. At Blindster.com, we offer custom-made blinds, handcrafted and delivered to your door in about 2 weeks, oftentimes at a lower price than blinds sold at home improvement warehouses. Available in a wide variety of styles and colors, our blinds are expertly crafted exactly to your specifications. And we guarantee your blinds will fit or will replace them for free, even if you make a mistake when measuring or ordering. At Blindster, we are passionate about both the quality of our products and the satisfaction of our customers. Most of our products are backed by a limited lifetime warranty. And if you need help, our team of friendly and knowledgeable window covering experts is ready to assist you every step of the way. Please give us a chance to earn your business.
Visit Blindster.com today and check out our new faux wood plantation shutters. And for a limited time only, all Rush listeners will receive 30% off any order. Just enter code RUSH at checkout. Blindster.com. That's BLINDSTER.com. Blindster.com.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. You'll find lots of shops filled with treasures and trinkets, shoes and specialty items, collectibles and clothing galore. Whether you're hunting for antiques or gems, or something truly unique and different, you're likely to find it on West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go west, treasure hunters. Go west.
Want to see what you'd look like if you had a flatter belly? Now's your chance, because for a limited time, we're giving away free trials of New Biotics, the new discovery that flattens bloated bellies fast. But hurry and call now while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-500-1734. Strict limit of 1 free trial per household. These free trials are reserved for anyone, male or female, who's looking for maximum belly flattening in minimum time. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Want to see what you'd look like with a flatter belly? Now's your chance. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving these trials of New Biotics away for free. 1-800-500-1734. That's 1-800-500-1734. If lines are busy, try again. 1-800-500-1734.
Tired of long wait times and high prices at your local boat repair shop? The Boat Dock LLC Marine Repair in Springfield has the fastest turnover. With state-of-the-art test equipment and on-site test tank, the jobs are done right the first time. From simple tune-ups and water pumps to complete repowers on all types of marine power boats, the Boat Dock LLC is the shop to visit at 1252 30th Street in Springfield, a Better Business Bureau accredited business. Visit their website at eugeneboatrepair.com. That's eugeneboatrepair.com.
Hey there, it's Lars Larson. Join me at my new time for my national show, starting weeknights at 6:05 on 1120 KPNW.
Okay, I'm sure that we are rolling tape on this. Hillary Clinton's doing her much anticipated, eagerly awaited speech on the economy. And it's well timed, by the way. Her speech is designed to portray Trump as an economic novice and neophyte. The CNN ORC poll that has now taken everybody's attention away from the what was it, a Bloomberg poll or Reuters? I can never get this straight. The poll that showed Trump down 11 points last week. Who was it? Bloomberg reported a Reuters poll or the other way? I don't care what it was. It was that what everybody was feeding off of. Now we've got this new CNN poll, and it's not good. And in fact, here's the lead in the CNN poll. The lead is that the respondents in this poll prefer Trump handling the economy over Hillary 51-43. Way outside any margin of error. The people in this CNN, or this is why, when you look at CNN today and you watch some of their anchors and analysts talking about this, you're going to see long faces. I mean, the economy, in their playbook, don't forget, that's the number one voting issue, back pocket stuff. And to see that the people of this country prefer Trump and the way he would deal with the economy over Hillary, 51-43, that's not even close. You're going to see a lot of long faces, and you might even hear some of them admit that they are not happy with this poll, that they're bothered by it. Anyway, Mrs. Clinton's out there making a speech right now, and it's just filled with gobbledygook. One of the things she said is that Donald Trump has so little economic knowledge that he has no idea how President Obama and I grew the economy. Because you haven't grown the economy. Look at the GDP numbers every quarter. They are revised down. It's pathetic. There isn't any economic growth going on. The government's getting bigger. The government's collecting more revenue than ever before. But the American people are not earning more. And whatever more they're earning is being taxed. Then she went on to say that Donald Trump wants to strip away all the protections we have built in to once again make sure the banks can no longer crash this economy by making risky investments such as the subprime mortgage. And this is one of the biggest lies the Democrats continue to tell and get away with. The subprime mortgage crisis is traceable right back to Democrats in the Oval Office, specifically Jimmy Carter, but primarily Bill Clinton. They gave it to us. They are the ones still in bed with rich bankers and Wall Street firms, and we will continue.
From the KPNW News Center, here's what's going on. Eyeing a chance at more money for pet projects, Eugene City Councilor Claire Syred wants to create a city tax on marijuana. The councilor asked for a work session for today so they can discuss her proposal to put a measure on the fall ballot. A custody dispute broke out yesterday, resulting in the arrest of an Albany woman as she tried to take another woman's one-year-old baby. Lene D. Lambert was arrested and booked in the Lane County Jail. Police say Lambert picked up the child, then a fight broke out when Lambert put the child down and started to strangle the mother. The woman's friend called 911. Wildland firefighters are starting school in Oregon. The interagency school gets them ready to battle fires in Oregon's forests and rural urban areas. Stephanie Gatchell with the U.S. Forest Service says there's a variety of levels.
People who haven't had any experience with it, all the way up to second-level experienced firefighters who come back for leadership training.
If they ace the exams on Friday, they'll be available Saturday for wildland firefighting. Bill London, KPNW.
It's Three Rivers Casino Resort's 12th anniversary, and to celebrate, we'll be hosting the Great Escape giveaway. Now through June 26th, earn entries to win one of these amazing prizes. A pair of ATVs, travel trailer, water sport craft, or a brand new Chevy Trax. Drawing takes place June 26th in Florence. Don't miss our biggest giveaway yet. Check out threeriverscasino.com for more details. Then, in July, country music superstar and multi-award winner Leanne Womack will be hitting the stage at Three Rivers Casino Resort for 2 epic concerts, Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th. Come enjoy this singer-songwriter sensation as she performs her hit single, I Hope You Dance. Tickets start at just $19.99. Go to threeriverscasino.com for more details. Summer is spectacular this year with huge giveaways and the hottest country music at Three Rivers Casino Resort, because things are luckier here.
There should be no confusion when purchasing medical or leisure products from any dispensary. So at Jamaica Joel's, we don't use deceptive marketing just to get you in the door. The prices we advertise are the prices you'll pay, guaranteed every time. We update our Leafly menu daily, so you'll never be let down when you come in for your favorite strain or needed medication. So don't settle for less than the best. Come experience Jamaica Joel's. On the corner of 13th and Willamette, above Big City Gaming, Jamaica Joel's. An embassy for your mind, a dispensary for the people.
A good beer and some good friends, or maybe some new friends. That's the whole idea behind Thirsty Thursday. We've got another Thirsty Thursday coming up this coming Thursday. Go figure, it's on a Thursday. We're going to be out at First National Tap House, 51 West Broadway. I'm Bill London. Come on down and join us for some great Widmer brews and some great prizes. We're going to be blowing out tickets to James Taylor, Weird Al, Counting Crows, Eugene M's baseball, and more. Come on down and see us at the First National Tap House at 51 West Broadway, 4 to 7 this Thursday.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/try now and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/try now.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW for help getting free medication, if available and eligible. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Depend on us. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Folks, I'm telling you, Hillary Clinton ought to be the equivalent of a sitting duck in this campaign. If anybody on the Republican Trump side would just go into this with a little confidence instead of being afraid of her. That's always been the rub. Since the Clintons came on the scene in the 1990s, everybody has talked about the Clintons as though they fear them greatly. I mean, fear them, not just worry about them as opponents, but literally fear them. And I'm sorry, I don't see it. They're not unbeatable. She's a walking contradiction. She's not a good campaigner. She's not a good candidate. Here, I just heard something else in the break. She's out there, once again, the whole theme of this speech, how Trump is economically unfit, temperamentally unfit, it's a danger and so forth. Part of this is because of the CNN poll showing the public much prefers Trump to deal with the economy than Hillary, 51-43. But she just went out there and said, Donald Trump made a fortune filing bankruptcies and ignoring creditors. How did you make your fortune, Mrs. Clinton? Making speeches to bankers. Now, here's the thing. To me, Hillary Clinton just got through trashing the banks, right? And she does it every time she opens them. Whatever the economy comes up, Hillary Clinton just trashed the banks. She accused them of nearly crashing the economy. She accused them of being selfish and self-focused. She accused them of taking risks that they should not have been permitted to take, and that she will no longer permit them to make those risky things like subprime loans and so forth. It's sitting duck. Her husband demanded that they do it. Her husband sicked his attorney general on the banks to comply with the demand that they make loans to people that would never be able to pay them back, which is what a subprime loan is. Hillary Clinton trashes the banks every time he opens her mouth, and yet she made $21 million in 2 years making speeches to those very banks that she trashes every day. Now, you tell me there isn't some kind of a game being played here? You tell me the fix isn't in? She just said, we can't let Wall Street wreck Main Street again. Well, what does that mean? That means she's gotten all the money from Wall Street she needs for her campaign and her bank account, and now she can go out and start ripping them. This is the thing that gets this, to me, would be so easily refuted if we had an opposition party. And you don't need just the presidential candidate to do it. The whole Republican Party could be engaged in this. The banks. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to come across as a blanket defender here, but there's cause and effect. The bankers were doing what the Democrat presidents and the Democrat Party, the Washington establishment, wanted them to do. The bankers were forced to implement Democrat policies to secure votes from low-income people. That's all the subprime mortgage was. It was another rigmarole trick to convince the low-income crowd that the Democrats are looking out for them. Bill Clinton had a name for this plan. Every American in his own home comes to the American home, the American Dream Act, or whatever the hell they called it, based on the premise the American dream was owning a home. Well, everybody knows not everybody can afford a home, but that didn't matter. The fact that everybody couldn't own a home was one of the signs of how unfair America is. And the Democrats are going to fix this. And the way they did it was demand that banks loan money, mortgage money, to people who had no way of ever paying it back. And so what did the banks do? They found ways to sell that paper as investments. They packaged all these worthless loans into something called mortgage-backed securities. They were called brand new innovative products in the financial industry. And they packaged all of these loans. You know, it happened to me. In the 1980s, I bought a home I had no business buying because I fell prey to the advice of real estate people. Oh, yeah, you got to buy a home. You're throwing money away renting. Anyway, I had no business. I didn't have enough money to buy a home and keep it up and all that. And I noticed about 6 months after I had gotten the mortgage and had been making payments, I got a thing in the mail saying my mortgage was now under the control of some other bunch of people. I don't know who they were. And I didn't know what had happened at the time. It was only in retrospect I figured out my mortgage and a bunch of others had been packaged and sold to some other firm. And the way it worked, I didn't know any of this then. I had no idea what was going on. It didn't matter. All I had to do was make the payments and nothing from my end was going to change. But what was happening was they're packaging all these mortgages and selling them as gigantic pools of guaranteed monthly income, because the odds are that most homeowners are going to make their mortgage payment because they don't want to be foreclosed on. So it's considered guaranteed monthly income. So they package these things together. Now, this is pre-subprime, but it was still happening. Well, so when the subprime thing came and they were forced to loan money to people that couldn't pay, but I barely qualified, and it took some hijinks to do it. But people that couldn't qualify, their loans were packaged and they were sold unknowingly. It was such a scam, and it was all done so the Democrat Party can run around and tell the low-income crowd, we are your champions. We are the ones making these evil bankers be fair with you. We're the ones enabling you to finally own a home and be part of the American dream when normal American capitalism will not permit you to do it because it's unfair. But we're your